Greetings. Welcome to the Captive Desk and happy Halloween. And join me in welcoming my IT tech, Alec. You remember, you may remember last Halloween, Alec joined me in our Halloween episode, and we took a look at the Amityville Horror together. And beginning of the month, I started out with a summoning stream, and with the hopes of seeing some aliens. And today is the last day of the month, and I haven't seen an alien anywhere. Have you seen an alien anywhere? We haven't seen an alien, not even a sign or anything that would maybe look like an alien, right? No. So I asked my IT tech here, Alec, to join me. And one thing I didn't cover was the Ouija board, because when I was doing my stream, I was here by myself, right? So he couldn't help me out. He's a hard worker. So, but he has the day off, coincidentally, on Halloween. And I thought, and we were looking, weren't we? We were looking at the sky. We had the telescope out. We were putting in the work, weren't we? And nothing that even appeared to even look like an alien. I mean, at least if I saw something that looked like an alien, right? But nothing. So, and I wanted to mention though, before we get started, my IT tech Alec here is also a gamer, and he has a YouTube channel, right? So why don't you tell him real quick about your channel? Cool, cool. Yeah, he likes to play a lot of different kind of games, so check it out. Obsidian Marker. Links in the description. Show some love. Go subscribe, especially if you're a gamer, and maybe hook up. He likes to play on PS5, and you play PC too? PC too, all right? So check it out, all right? Cool. All right, so we have the Ouija board all set up, and we are going to check out the Ouija board here, and we are going to thoroughly put this through all its tests, because we wanted to be thorough, and I didn't want to leave any stones unturned or anything else. And again, I didn't have more than one pair of hands on the Ouija board. So we're going to cover that now, and we're going to ask it some questions, and we're going to see what happens, right? Okay, let's go. Let's get this. Can we get this? There we go. Okay, now we got the big screen. Okay, now let's see. Since Alec is my guest here, we'll let him ask the question. So what do you think? Okay, all right. Well, yeah, that's always a good question. All right, so we're going to ask if Alec is going to get a raise, because that's always a great question, right? Typical question. All right, and we don't really know what to do other than the directions say ask it a question and try and see if you can get an answer, and if it doesn't work, try again. So we're going to give it a try. So here we go. We're gonna get our hands on the piece here. We're gonna kind of get up around these yes and the no's here, and we're gonna kind of see if we're getting any any one way or another here. Let's see. Um, I don't know, kind of sticking there a little bit. I think it may be sticking a little bit there. I'm gonna try back over here. That one, that one just wants to go right back off. Goes right back off the no. Yep. See, it's like it's stuck. It's like it's stuck. It definitely does feel different when we get over by the yes. I think we're gonna give Alec a raise because I definitely could feel it. It was nice and smooth over by the no. But when we got over by the yes, it kind of wanted to stay over there. Of course, we got the good vibrations going on. Might have good vibrations, right? Wishing the best, right? So we might have the good high energy going, and we might be a little biased, but I think that was a fair yes or no question. I don't see anything floating around. Nothing floating around the room or anything yet. So, all right, I guess we're good to go. Let's see. What's next on your questions of the mysterious, there, buddy? Yeah. All right. Alec wants to know how many babies he's going to have. All right. Yeah. No. No. You don't want to know. All right. Sorry. Sorry. All right. Yeah. 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 I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. All right. So okay. Yeah. We he's thinking about maybe a new car. So let's see if we can get a color for a new car. We're going to go for a prediction here from the spirit world. We're going to see if we can get a color for the car that he's going to get next. And then this will be recorded so we can always come back and check. So let's see if we can get a color. You ready? All right, let's see if we can get a color. Get our get our vibrations going here. Let's look for that. Let's look for that rough patch again. See, I kind of I don't know. I'm kind of going to give that a W. What do we got for a W? We got white. You like white cars? No, you don't like white cars. Give it another shot. I think we should give it another shot. Let's keep going here. See what we can feel. It's in, I'm getting the R. And it wants to just go right to the E, and then we're getting stuck again. I think we got a red. It was going nice and smooth before. I don't know, but it wants to go to that W too. Well, we got a W and we got red. Trying to figure out what a W and a red would mean. Obviously, we know what a red would mean. And I'm not too sure on the W. That was complicated though. Maybe we could try one of the numbers. We'll give it. We'll. Hey, we went yes and no on the top. We tried some letters. So let's give it a shot on some numbers. I think so. See what would be a good number question here. Um, what's that? Yeah. All right. Yeah, we could do that. All right. But we got a puppy, and puppy's growing fast here. So we're gonna see if we can get a number on what the weight's gonna be. All right. So let's see if we can get a future prediction from the spirit world and see what the pup's gonna max out at. We know what the other dog weighs, but this dog is a lot leaner. So if we just guess what the other dog is, we're probably going to be wrong. So that bias right there, we kind of already know. What's that? Sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll try it anyways. It's a good number question. All right. You ready? Let's see. Let's see if we can get some numbers going here on this with the vibrations. We need some good vibrations here. We're getting an 8. That's pretty big. Maybe we're wrong. Yeah, we're definitely more down on the 80 range. We go smooth. Feels pretty smooth. It seems to slow down, doesn't it? Well, I don't like that 80-pound stuff. Maybe we could do that in kilos. Well, we put our hands on it, and it does seem to be when we both have our hands on it. When I had it by myself, it it seemed very smooth. But when we both had our hands on it, there was times that it didn't move so smooth. It seemed to be, and maybe that's what the vibrations are and what people pick up on or something like that. You think maybe? But I wanted to be thorough, and my IT tech here has got other plans, but I didn't want to keep him. But you know, I I was so hopeful I would see some aliens, and I think Alec was too. You know, um, we we're hopeful to get the telescope out. That's one thing I think we left that we haven't covered, right? We got to do the telescope. So that's our last hope, to see anything anywhat similar to being an alien, right? Because otherwise, you just got two regular guys just sitting here playing with a Ouija board. No sign of a UFO anywhere. No sign of an alien anywhere. What's that? Yeah, right. So, we we were hopeful. Both of us were. Um, Alec and I both were hoping we would see something, and he heard I was going to summon up some aliens, and he was, oh, cool, we're going to see some UFOs and aliens, and we were disappointed. We were, but I appreciate his time, and yeah, last Halloween we checked out the Amityville Horror together, didn't we? And we had a lot of fun doing that. So you can always check out that video if you like. Um, and go check out his channel if you, especially if you're a gamer. Give a subscription over there. His links in the description. Obsidian Marker. All right. And do appreciate his time. And what do you think? Did we cover it good? Is there any other questions you have? No. What's that? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Uh, Happy Halloween from both of us. And we're very sorry that we couldn't deliver any aliens for you. We tried really, really hard. We really wanted to have some aliens for you. And, I'm sorry to let you down. Nothing even close to looking like an alien anywhere around here. But, we're always hopeful. And, maybe tomorrow. All right. All right. Appreciate it. Yep. All right. Yep. You have a good one too. All right. Thanks, man. Oh, I was hopeful. And doesn't seem to be any aliens in my future, but we did put our hands on it. Uh, we gave it a fair shake. Um, my like I say, my IT man, we couldn't keep him too long for obvious reasons there, but we appreciate him dropping in. And again, go check out his channel and give him some subs. All right. And yeah, he loves to game, so maybe if you need somebody to play with, you guys can hook up. You know how it goes. I want to say hey to everybody. What's up, Tux and Logan, Trusty Ape, and Sandy, and BS? How y'all doing? Yeah, I just wanted to cover the Ouija board. Um, if anybody wants to talk about anything, you can come on. I can. There's a link in the chat. If anybody wants to come on, talk about UFOs or Halloween or Ouija boards or aliens or demons or anything else, scary movies. I did want to make sure, though, like I said, we're trying to cover all the bases, trying to scare up some aliens that are really demons that are fooling us all into treating each other better. So I keep putting forth the effort. You know, if I could do the Ouija board betterer, uh, let me know how to do it betterer. Anybody out there knows how to do it betterer? I don't know. Um, put out my crystals. Let's see. I'll put it back up here. Yeah. I've got. Uh, Wait a minute. How did I do that big before? There we go. I put out my crystals, and I got my cool candles, and I got a scary skull, and I got my little alien dude there, and I don't know. Doesn't seem to really do much. Um, hey, Robin's here. Hello, Robin. And I was just going to mention Robin gave a good, thorough lesson on tarot cards yesterday and a little bit about spells on the Kentucky Atheist channel. Had a good time, learned a lot. Um, I think Robin mentioned about Ouija boards. Um, I did mention that I heard Ouija boards and tarot cards for just the last time the one day. So I got some, and I wanted to be thorough. I wanted to learn a little bit about it, and far as my beginning of all this with taking Hugh Ross up on his challenge, basically, was anything that the occult opens up these doors, and then the demons come in, and the demons are actually what everybody's seeing is UFOs or aliens or talking to them, having abductions, whatever it is. So I thought, well, hey, that'd be kind of cool to see a UFO and an alien, and if it's a demon or whatever, and I get fooled, I mean, I think it would be pretty cool to see either way, right? So, and he said this is testable and let him know and everything. So, trying to be thorough on this because otherwise he's going to catch me on something. Well, you didn't do this and you didn't do that and all this kind of stuff. Robin, you were summoning a candle is supposed to allow the other realms to enter our dimension. Black candle would be proper. Yeah, my candles are safe candles. Uh, I've got a. I just don't want to leave candles unattended, especially with my lovely tablecloth there I have. Um, but I was just basically, yeah, I was just trying to do the Ouija board. The Ouija board directions don't have anything additional to it. The directions are probably the simplest directions you're ever going to read. You just ask it a question, you put your hands on it, and you try to get an answer. And if it doesn't give you an answer, try again. That's it. That's that's the directions. So that's what we did. It does feel different when somebody else has their hands on it. So I can do. Hey, how you doing, Spooky? Happy Halloween. I did. I would say that I could see where when people have their hands on it that you're going to feel different things because of how people are all moving and pressure on it and everything because it does feel different when the two of us were doing it. Um, and yeah, we were having a little fun. You know, since we didn't see any aliens, we had to have an alien show up, right? So I do appreciate the effort put forth by Alec. It was really good of him to participate in that. So and again, yeah, go subscribe to his channel. It's in the description, and maybe hook up, play some games, and all. All right. Hello, James. Good to see you. So yeah, the tarot cards was a lot of stuff to learn. Um, I think Robin just barely touched on uh, the basics, and when I was doing it, I was doing next to nothing. Yeah, I guess the only thing I really got right was how to lay out the cards. But I know a lot more. Yeah, you can check out the stream with Kentucky Atheist and Robin. It was very informative. If you want to know a little bit about tarot cards, you can learn about tarot cards. And I wanted to learn about them. I wouldn't say I'm a believer in them, but they are interesting. And possibly the way they are set up, it does seem to get some hits. And it I would call it entertainment. So if you want a little entertainment, same thing with this Ouija board. You might get a spooky effect, especially if you're at a Halloween party and everything, and your friends are playing with it, and you're like, "Hey, that does kind of feel like something." And again, I did notice when I'm doing it by myself, it seems to just move really nice, like it's like you're polishing something, It just feels really nice. But when he had his hands on too, it seems to you know, jerk more, and you don't have that smoothness going on. So every time we were moving it, we would get a rhythm, and then you would get to a point where you would feel it kind of. And I think that's the combination of our different movements and how our muscles want to go and how much pressure we're putting on it and everything. So I would say that it definitely does make a difference, and maybe that's part of it is the people having all their hands put on it, because I don't feel the same thing doing it myself. So, and maybe because of it is triangular, maybe it has something, you can get a little, lean this way or lean that way thing going. And maybe that gets your movement kind of jerky a little bit when you're, because it's not nice on the nice pads when it goes like that. As you see, you got pads on there. So if you go a little bit, you're going to go right off of that pad. But if you're nice like this, it definitely is. I mean, I don't feel anything anywhere. So that's definitely my impression of the Ouija board, is that when other hands are on it, you are going to feel something. But I got nothing floating around. I haven't, the main thing was I was supposed to see a UFO, see an alien, talk to an alien, get abducted by an alien, something to do with aliens or UFOs. Now, of course, this time of year it's pretty cloudy out. It's my part of the country, so But as far as the other parts go, things floating around the room, nope. Bumps in the night, nope. Um, what else would there be? Strange shadows in the corners, nope. My animals acting funny, nope. Um, I haven't heard anything in my head. Not yet, at least. Um, what else would there be? It's just, I don't think anything's been any different since I was playing with this stuff, you. And I am marking it all down. The list is getting short. Um, and I'm going to contact him. I am. I will. I will pursue it, but I want to make sure that I do a telescope. Um, Twice during this month, I got the telescope out. As soon as I had it set up, as soon as I was looking at the moon and it looks really cool, and I was like, okay, and I popped the laptop on and get the camera all ready and get a shot of the moon. At least do a quickie. As soon as I get everything going, the clouds would roll in and cover it up. It was just so. Now it does make me think of like, you know, Independence Day or something. Maybe the aliens are hiding behind the clouds, but that's pushing it, right? I mean, if that's the deal, well then well that's no fun at all. I was I was told I would see a UFO or an alien. So the good news is Hugh Ross says their messages are all of be good to each other and take care of the environment. So we need to listen to the aliens. They sound all right. I always feel a cold breeze, Robin. Oh, we got snow here today for Halloween. Burr. I know a lot of people are probably bummed out. Yeah, it's cold here today, and some 20s Fahrenheit tonight or something, below freezing, cold. But yeah, we got a cold shot here. It's supposed to be next 4 or 5 days, I think, or something. So early shot of winter. Nothing serious. It's uh, just barely on the grass and the bushes out there. It was rude going outside. I had to get some pictures because there was a little dusting of snow on my pond. So I went out there and took a few pictures, and I was like, okay, that's enough for me. I'd go back in the house. I had I have them old bones get cold easy. I was sitting here all chummy with my boy there, and it was nice and toasty in here. Now I am feeling a little bit of a chill. See, you put it in my mind, Robin. Robin was great. Yeah, we had a great time. You guys want to know about tarot cards? Check out the video. Watch it on Kentucky Atheist channel. And also, Kentucky Atheist is trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers, and Robin helped out with a spell. So if you're feeling, the spell, maybe you want to go over there and give the Kentucky Atheist a subscription, help him get them numbers up there. And I want to thank everybody that subscribed lately. Got me over 200 subscribers. That's cool. And checking, got like about almost 10,000 views on my channel. So pretty neat. People actually watch the stuff we make, and try to have a little fun. Try to have a little fun tonight. I wanted to close out the month because I started the month with the summoning. So I wanted to make sure I covered it, close out the month, give everybody a little update on what happened and didn't happen. I did put a little video up the one day about why there hasn't been a telescope stream, and I just, we just cloudy weather looks exactly like the background here. We get little breaks, and I had maybe a 5 minute window where I actually got a good clear view of the moon the other 3 days ago, 4 days ago, when it was we had that nice little warm spell. You get that little break. And again, I thought, well, at least I could capture a couple minutes, get a good shot of the moon. But no, just like this back here, it would sweep right in and cover it up. I just to put the telescope back away and try another day. But I'm not discouraged. It's got to be a clear night sooner or later, right? Sooner or later, we're going to have a clear night. So I'm just like, well, ain't nothing I can do about it. When it happens, it happens. And I think now that we've both played with a Ouija board, I'm more one because it is supposed to be at least two people. You're not supposed to like really do it by yourself, I guess. So I have covered the Ouija board. And for anybody that's interested, and I know some people are freaked out about these things, um, I'm not freaked out about it. It doesn't. I don't feel nothing. I'm not scared. Um, you know, nobody's floating around or any of the stories you hear. I, uh, and I'm laughing. I'm just having a good time. All right. I'm not laughing at anybody. We don't like to laugh at anybody. We're just having a good time. I'm just saying some of the stories about people playing with a Ouija board and all the things that happen. Um, Maybe slightly exaggerated. Okay. Um, a lot of people have they pull these things out at parties, and everybody's having a good time. You got a little buzz on, little more influential, uh, and as far as the teenagers doing it and chairs moving around the room and everything and stuff. I mean, I've been trying, you know. Tobin was on with me. Um, Tobin and I gave it a good shot. We tried to, read some spells and played with the tarot cards. And what else do we do? We did all that stuff. We played with the Ouija board. And one of the things too is listening to certain kinds of music. And I know some of the music I've listened to would be on Hugh's so-called occult list. So I think I've got listening to the music covered too. Uh, I like heavy metal and heavy rock, and so plenty of those songs are on the list, I'm sure. So I can't think of anything else. Um, I could play with some chicken bones next time I make soup, I guess. Um, Maybe I don't. I think. I mean, what this is Halloween, right? Isn't it? This should be the day. What better day to play with a Ouija board and have some stuff move around. And I've got a couple cameras set up here, so I'm going to openly declare, if there are some demons summoned up because we were playing with this Ouija board, move this thing on the Ouija board. Put I got some of my put a couple of my rocks on there, my crystals. Excuse me. I got to put my crystals on there. Make something move. Right? Playing with this stuff, something's supposed to move. Got the camera on it, you can show the whole world, show the demons, or the demons can show themselves, I should say. You can prove to the world that us non-believers are wrong. There's a spirit realm, there's demons, there's these forces, and all the stories are true that if you just play with this stuff, they're going to show up and it's going to move around. Stuff's gonna move around. Knock something over. Um, the furnace is running. There's a breeze. Even you've got a breeze in your favor right now. My plants my plants are moving a little bit. You even got a breeze in your favor. Knock something over, right? I think everybody would love to see that. Where's my thing at? There is the link. Let's talk about spooky stuff. Spooky, you want to talk about spooky stuff? Incubus and succubus. Those are always some great ones. Um, Big Bad Mama. That was what did we want? Did we do a spell or did a spell or something for Big Bad Mama? Big Bad Mama had a little fun. Big Bad Mama got to have some fun. Love some Big Bad Mama. A lot of shorts. Big Bad Mama does a lot of shorts. If you want a quick chuckle, go check out the shorts. And we got it was a cold, snowy Halloween, so I remember there was a couple times as kids where we had to wear a winter coat, and there was a few Halloweens where you could wear shorts. So such is the area I live in. This year you got to wear a winter coat. So, but I hope everybody had some nice fun inside afterwards. Everybody has safe Halloween, especially all the adults. Make sure you all be safe driving and don't drink and drive. Demons get a hold of you. I've been watching the camera and I'm watching the screen and I'm watching it live. My backdrop isn't even moving, even though the furnace is going. My furnace kicks pretty good. So, yeah. So for the believers, I seriously, I, I'm openly inviting that. I mean, come on, demons, right? Show up. I'm playing with the stuff. Been playing with it all month. Did a stream with Kentucky Atheist and Robin, talking witchcraft, doing spells, doing tarot card readings. I was learning. I was taking it serious. I was learning about tarot card readings. Robin was giving all kind of information. Okay, this is how you do all this. We were doing it. I think the demons are a little shy. I mean, your demons live up to your name. Gosh, I'm supposed to be like, and I'll show up. And do something. I mean, it's about as worthless as angels or gods or any of these other things. They don't seem to do nothing. I mean, this isn't hard. Just make something move. Just, move one of these things. Knock that over. Knock that over. Make this float in the air. Or does it only happen when you don't have a camera handy? What's the matter, Gato? I've got to, I gotta let the Gato out the room here. Hold on one second. All right, well, the Gato did take off, so. Maybe the cat was spooked by something. I don't know. The cat's always spooked by something. But I got the link out there. Anybody wants to come on and talk about something? We can talk about anything. I just figured while I was on, if somebody wants to come on, we could talk about something. Already had everything all set up for the Ouija board with my IT tech. And he is my IT tech, by the way. He helps me out a lot. Quite a few times I'm aggravated about somebody comes over, he hits a couple keys, fixes it right up for me. So Alec is much appreciated. And he was a good sport helping out. I know that thing was hot. So we didn't keep him too long, but do appreciate it. I was disappointed. So I figured, well, I know one way to see an alien. That's Amazon. So quick order on Amazon. We had an alien for our show. So you can't say I don't deliver on my show, okay? I was trying my best to get y'all an alien, and so we had an alien. All right, there you go. And I do have my alien dude. I don't know if you can see him good, but I do have my alien guy here. That's my meditating alien. Figured it'd be good to bring him in on the show here. But I still don't see anything moving. I've been watching the camera. I don't see anything moving. Hey, John, how you doing? Hey, that's all good. Yeah, I was seeing who's out there. I know there was a couple other streams going on. This was just something we just wanted to take care of. I I booked it like 45 minutes out or something like that. So you know, uh, but here at the captive desk, I wanted to be thorough. I mean, if I take up something, I'm going to see it through. So I'm making sure I see it through, and I don't really have anything going on right now. My IT guy, I can hear him gaming over there. And Mrs. Desk won't be home for a little while yet. So, and it's Halloween. Uh, didn't really have a party or nothing like that. And so this is where it's at for the moment. And we're going to give this a fair shake for the demons too. I mean, it's 10:30 p.m. here. I mean that it's getting pretty close to midnight. At least, I don't think demons have to wait till midnight or anything, but I mean we're talking about it's dark outside, plenty dark. Dark, dark. It's been dark for hours. There's something lurking in the shadows. And I should have, spooky shadows. I don't have hardly any lights on in here. With the screens all lit up in front of us and for the cameras and everything here, I don't have hardly any lights on. So I've got the one light over here to light the board up. So I don't see anything in the shadows. No shadowy figures. All in all, I've been disappointed. I don't know what you're supposed to do. Um, are you supposed to make stuff up? I, I mean, I honestly, I want to feel something. I want to feel something. I want. Oh yeah, ooh, that's sure weird. No, it's not weird. So what's the difference when people are telling me, or not me personally necessarily, but when people tell these stories, I gotta wonder, right? This is kind of neat looking, and I guess part of it is the mystique. Everybody talks about them. Ooh, the Ouija board, watch out. Hello, Purple. How you doing? Be warned of the Ouija board. Um, of SJ's celebrating Halloween. SJ, you out there? Uh, SJ was talking about Ouija boards and tarot cards one day, and I was like, that. I think that might have been the day I ordered one. Because now, to be honest, Mrs. Desk is not thrilled with the Ouija board. Um, the other stuff, not so much. But Ouija board does give her the creeps. So I've had to keep it undercover, way under the captive desk there, down there with the dust bunnies. But Mrs. Desk hasn't been bothered either. You had one, Purple. James, I think said he had one too, but he got rid of it to get rid of the demons or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I've seen all different kind of styles. The only thing is I didn't want to go with just cardboard or something like that. So this is wood. If you can hear it, it is wood. So they are kind of neat. The tarot cards are neat. Um, a lot of the spells are neat. Um, and a lot of the herbs and all that. I mean, it's a lot of smell goods. If you want some good smelling incense and tea and everything, a lot of these things smell great. So, I, I don't know. Seems all right with me. You got some smell goods, and my wife collects nice polished rocks. She's got a rock polisher, so even if it's like a crystal like this, when they're all polished and everything, yeah, it's pretty. It's like a big marble or something. So she's got her rocks. She's got a nice um, little rock patch she does in her flower bed, with her little rocks and stuff. So they're pretty. The rocks. I don't think they have any magical powers, but these rocks definitely aren't moving around by any demons or not even me just hoping. Hoping. I'm hoping. Really, I am. I've been staring at the screen, and I'm staring at this. I think this is one of the problems that believers have, or non-believers have with believers, I should say. Believers make a lot of claims about fantastic things, but non-believers don't seem to see these things. And I wasn't trying to be mocking or anything else. I didn't even know anything about this stuff, actually. I went in not knowing anything. So if I was going to be deceived, I went in not knowing anything about it. So a demon could have deceived me when I opened up the instruction book on the tarot cards. And I had my spell books. Tobin and I covered the spell book pretty good. And Robin was talking about you can write your own spells too. So Robin wrote a lot of her own spells. So I guess making up a spell isn't out of the rules or anything else like that. So let's make up a spell. So I declare in the name of Bigfoot that something on this camera, something within the range of this camera right now that everybody can see moves. All hail Bigfoot. Demons, no demons, no aliens. I haven't gotten any messages. I did have some camera difficulty last night. Uh, we were going to do it last night. I said, well, hey, why don't we do this like at midnight? So we were all ready to go last night. I know some people wondering what was going on, and my second camera wouldn't work. We couldn't get this one going. And there seems to be a conflict with the cameras, so this is another um, model of camera, and this one doesn't conflict, but the other one was conflicting. So me and Mr. IT figured that out today. I say, hey, let's try the other camera, right? Process of elimination, classic, figuring things out for a technician. So we were unplugging this, checking cords, going down the line. We plugged this one in, voila, two cameras. So there's some kind of conflict with StreamYard, not liking both of my cameras that are alike too much. And so otherwise we would have had it last night. But yeah, he had the night off, or he had the day off today. So I figured, well, we had all day to do it. So we made sure we ate dinner. We had nice dinner together. I don't get to eat with my boy too often because he's usually at work. So I usually have dinner by myself. But we had a nice dinner together and we had a little fun. And I appreciate, like I say, that's 2 days in a row you had to put the suit on. And it is warm. I don't know how the aliens do it. I don't know how the people in the 50s B movies did it either, wearing those foil suits and the masks and everything and stuff. Wow, that had to be rough. Well, once again, keeping an eye on everything. We played with the Ouija board. We played with tarot cards. I openly said, demons, demons, let's go. You're invited. I've got a demon portal on my floor under the desk. Um, Nothing's come up out of the desk. The portal's down there. I made sure to put the portal spell under the desk. Nothing's coming through the desk. Yeah, Purple. She right where she has like a couple stepping stones to get through the flower garden, and then all around the stepping stones there, she's got all her little colored rocks and that. So it's kind of like the mortar around it or something. I don't know what you would. I had to get some weed stuff so she didn't get no weeds in it, and all the rocks would look nice. She likes rocks, and she's got a nice little flower garden. She gets a lot of compliments on it. It's beautiful. We've got bees and birds and butterflies aplenty. Um, got a nice little nature spot, and then I got my pond in the backyard, so I got my little nature spot. So we got our little nature spots here in the city, in the suburbs. It's pagan. Purple's pagan. Purple was pagan for 25 years, I guess. I used to believe a lot of that stuff, but I took a scientific approach to it and was never able to get consistent results. Oh, that's right. I know what you mean. Some of these cold days, my fingers get really stiff, and it's hard to get them stupid little things on that stupid little phone's keyboard. Some of my words are atrocious. Yeah, I don't know if I've always tried to be open minded about everything. Um, People may not believe it, but I've seriously pursued things. I've pursued meditating and astral projection and out of body and lucid dreaming. I've tried to get myself in the mode before I go to bed and think about certain things. And I just don't. First of all, I just don't dream a lot, and when I do, it seems to be the same dream. I'm usually looking for a restroom, and then I wake up. That's about it. The only other reoccurring dream I ever have is I have this one about running into my dad and his father, my grandfather, at the store. I don't know why. Um, Maybe it's just something about our family line or something, but it's always my dad and his dad, and hey, how's it going? Like just seeing them at the store, and hey, both at the store at the same time. What a quinkadink. All right, see you later or whatever. It's just like a nothing thing, just seeing them at the store. But yeah, purple. So far, so good. Uh, it's like something's telling me to wake up, but I once in a great while I'll have a nightmare, but it's usually maybe years in between. Usually, I don't have a lot of nightmares. Um, I'd say I have a little more stupid dreams than anything. Just things that don't mean anything. You just wake up and you're just like your brain kind of hurts. It's just one of those crazy dreams that doesn't make any sense. First couple hours of the day, you're all foggy. You're like, what's going on in my brain? Well, I don't know if you've seen anything move, Purple. You said you got kind of sleepy eyes, but I haven't seen anything move. Um, and I'd say I gave it the best shot I could. Um, I read up on a bunch of this stuff. Um, Robin gave me lessons. Robin was great. Um, we did some spells. I've got all the herbs and the crystals, and we made sure to cleanse with the sage incense and everything. Got the bell, to clear clear everything out to start with. I got six candles. Six candles. One, two, three, four, five, six. I figured got to have six, right? Because that dang six number is all scary too. So I figured it couldn't hurt. So I got six. The only thing left is I better see something in a telescope. I do have my telescope ready. I've got a telescope camera. I've got video software. Uh, I just need a clear night and a UFO. So, but the way things have been going, I'm not getting my hopes up about a UFO either because I don't know how the demons are supposed to manifest in a UFO if they can't even move a rock here on my desk. Of course, maybe that's how they operate. They can materialize in UFOs that crash into Earth and kill themselves to make a point that we don't know about because it's all invisible. But maybe something visible. Move something on my desk. Come on. Come on, spirits. It's Halloween. What time is it? About 11 p.m. It's almost 11 p.m. We're getting close to midnight on Halloween. I'm trying, Tsunami. I am. I openly said, come on, demons. All right. I've got no Jesus here. All right. You're not going to find no Jesus here. No Jesus protecting me. I got no armor of God. No armor. Just my captive. See, you're a captive. I got my captive shirt on. That's it. Just a t-shirt. Just me. I got no crucifix. Uh, I do have my Bible, but it's over there in the corner. I don't see the Bible bursting into flames or anything either. Knock on wood. I don't need no fires. Oh, very disappointing. I'm saying it's cold here, so the furnace just kicked on again. So I've got a good breeze going. My plants are moving, and even with a good breeze, I can't get something to move. And then this this rock here, this crystal here, and this one over here, they're almost round. It wouldn't take much to get them to move. Um, you know, any kind of spirit with minimal amount of power, the weakest demon out there. I don't even need a big powerful one or anything, right? I will settle for the weakest demon you got. Okay, bring it on. The weakest demon you got should be able to move that rock, that crystal rock, that polished crystal rock, because barely touching it and it just goes a wobbling. It it's almost round. Come on, right? Come on, seriously. You tell me a demon can't move that rock that would take a, you know, I could probably blow on it and get it to move. That's that's some weak demons. And as far as everybody terrified about these things, and oh, don't say um, I won't name the person, but somebody was warning me about, oh, don't do that, Dave. Don't do that, Dave. It's up there, Blaster. It's Halloween. They're busy tonight. I'm sorry your ghost is on another line. Your call will be answered as soon as a spirit is available. That's about it. I'm on hold. Story of my life, right? Being put on hold by the demons. No demons for you. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't ask right. I didn't stand right in line. No demons for you. Yeah, I hear you, Samami. Indeed. The only good thing about that dang thing is they got the 8-year option now on the driver's license. So yeah, I don't have to do that for 8 years, and the plates are made by mail. So that's a good deal. That's a good deal. Hope everybody had a good Halloween. Anybody else see any UFOs or any aliens? Because it doesn't have to be me. It can be anybody I'm associated with. So Maybe it's, traveling across the YouTubes, right? Going out to you. Maybe you're the one that's supposed to be seeing the UFOs. If you can come on and be anonymous. We don't have to put the camera on. You can tell us your abduction story. I was hoping for a ride on a UFO. That would be great. I really don't have much of a bucket list. I'm not a big bucket list kind of guy or anything, but if I could get the chance and some Mr. Spock showed up, friendly alien, right? I go for a ride and see the stars. It's like, oh heck yeah, I'm gone. Even if it's a one-way ride, I'm gone. That would be the ultimate bucket list. Did you see one, Tsunami? I say I've never even seen anything that I had a question about. That's my thing. I've had a telescope since I was a kid. I had just a little tabletop one. It was about 20 inches long or something. But always been into the stuff. Uh, Always into all the oddball stuff, all the otherworldly stuff. I like the cryptids, the ghost stories, magic, mind reading. Um, I think it'd be fascinating to prove any of that stuff to be true. Mind reading, future prediction, um, healings, any of that. I, if somebody could demonstrate that, that would be amazing. It really would be. I just don't think anybody that claims to have done it has actually done it. Been in a hot air balloon, Riley. Looks very relaxing when they go up in those balloons. I think I'd be terrified, but there was no question to the point where I would ask my friend about it for years after to make sure I wasn't fucking nuts. It really happened. That's what Trees was talking about with his Bigfoot sighting with his buddies. That one of the buddies still holds on to it, and one of the buddies doesn't. So sometimes you think about it a little bit more, and well, maybe, and other people stick to their guns, and if you think you saw something, or if you did see something, then you saw something. So the few things I've seen were like when the space station goes over and run outside and watch it go over, and that's the space station. So wasn't a UFO. I think I was telling Kentucky Atheist the other day. One of the amusing ones was when they had the power outages out west, and people were calling in reporting the moon as a UFO because with all the city lights, they had forgotten even what the moon looked like at night. I think a bunch of the ones in is it Mexico, somewhere in South America. It was Venus. It was just a really, really super bright Venus for some reason, and made the headlines in the newspapers and everything. They definitely saw it. It was definitely in the sky, and it was definitely Venus. And you know, my thing with the UFOs is why are they always crashing into Earth? They can traverse the universe, but they smack right into Earth. And according to Hugh, it's all interdimensional, non-material, non-physical, and so you don't find any debris from them either. So we would never know they were there. They're they're invisible, and they fly around, but you can see them even though they're invisible and non-physical, or non-physical, non-material, invisible, interdimensional. That's the word I was looking for. Which are all these things we can't see, so that we see the UFOs, which doesn't make any sense in the first place. And then just to show us a thing or two, they smack into our planet, but they leave no traces because we can't detect it because it's non-physical, non-material, interdimensional. So I'm still trying to figure out what the aliens are up to here. I think the government's shooting them down, Blaster. I was watching Closer to Truth, and somebody was talking about what would aliens talk to us about? If they're just a slight percentage smarter than us on the evolutionary scale, that it would be like us trying to talk with insects or something. It, so then you have the question of why would they even contact us if they're that advanced? What would they even talk to us about? You know, the little green dudes, LGMs, famous LGM. Of course, I try not to knock looking for the signals because they've looked at very little out there. So it's a percentage of a percent, and maybe we'll get a signal tomorrow from somebody. But I think even if we could find somebody out there, you still have the distance problem. So if we picked up a signal from somebody, it's probably thousands of years old. And it would take us thousands of years to send a message back, and even and then more thousands of years to travel. It becomes mind-boggling how big the universe really is. Hi, Bree. Boo to you too. Happy Halloween. I know Bree was enjoying herself. She had quite a few videos up. We had fun. We had, if you want your fill, we had the Grassman Chronicles. Trees and I did Halloween this month. We covered vampires, werewolves, and mummies. I gave Frankenstein a shout out, special mention. And we also did a Black Cats short for the Grassman Chronicles too. So we were thinking, trying to make some shorts in between the monthly episode. So look forward to some shorts, and when we have the opportunity, and we have plans for our Christmas episode already. And November's episode is What's up, Tux? Yeah, anybody wants to hop on, hop on. Um, but we're gonna make sure we get back to some Bigfoots because we haven't done any Bigfoots in the last few shows, so we got to get back to some Bigfoot stories. There's so many good ones, and uh, Trees and I were just sharing some ideas back and forth and looking at some videos, and we got a lot of ideas going in our heads right now. So but we got lots of Bigfoot fun coming up, and Tree's sibling was on with us, Slew, and I think Slew did a great job covering the mummies. There's a lot of interesting stuff comparing Egyptian mummies to the South American versions of the mummies. There's a lot of good information, and Slew seemed to fit in really well at the Grassman Chronicles. So, and we've had other guests on too. We've had Tux on the Grassman Chronicles. We've had Bree on the Grassman Chronicles. We've had Stephanie on the Grassman Chronicles. So we like having guests on too, and especially people that like talking about the same kind of things we like talking about. And you don't have to believe in these things to talk about them or understand them. And I always like to say, an argument from ignorance is a really weak position. Don't do that. Mr. Tux, how you doing?
Look ahead. Let me see. Am I able to hear you?
Can you hear me?
Hi, Dave.
Hello? Hello? I can hear you.
There it is.
You got it? Test, test, test.
I think I can hear you.
All right.
It's a little faint.
I hope it's not the demons.
The demon, yeah. I bet it is. I've been looking all over for him, and I finally found him when there's audio issues.
Let me move my chair. I was all out of whack here when my IT guy was here. So I might not be in the right angle for the microphone here.
All right, I can hear you now.
Good. I was hoping it wasn't the demons messing everything up, because I was hoping more to catch something on camera, and an audio issue just isn't worthy of evidence. That happens all the time. So
Yeah.
a rock moving on camera, though, that would be something. And I swear on my mother's eyes, there ain't nothing funny with this table. There ain't no magnets or nothing else going on here. I seriously, I want something to move. And you probably know, Tux, I've been trying all month long. I've had a couple of streams about it now. Just doesn't seem to be in the cards, so to speak, even though I gave it my all with the tarot cards. And I'm sure you've heard the stories too. People play with this stuff and all kind of weird stuff happens, and I've been openly inviting it.
I think it's an invitation to play on your psyche. I will say this. I've lived in what was called a haunted house, and I have stories. Do I think it's actually haunted? I don't know. That house is long gone, so I have no idea. But I do have stories. I know one of them was definitely one of those moments where you were still sleeping but under paralysis. I forget what that's called. And you're waking up still in paralysis.
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. And then one time I had an injury. I was on steroids, and I was having a dream. I was having a very vivid dream. I was playing goalie as a hockey goalie. And I slammed my hand down onto the end table, the nightstand. And I mean, basically that's the opposite end of the sleep paralysis. Is you're normally, supposed to be immovable, but the steroids made it where my mind couldn't shut off that function. So
I've had it a couple times. Trees and I were talking about it, and we both, I think we both agree that it seems to happen when we're sleeping on our back. So try to avoid sleeping on your back, because that's when it happened to me. I was sprawled out, literally sprawled out on the bed, like, oh, I'm so exhausted, and I just sprawled out on the bed and fell asleep. And that's when it happened to me. And I was in that position. It made it even worse, because you're like in that sprawled down, like pinned down position, and it was like, oh, what's going on? I can't move. But then it clicked in my brain, oh, this is sleep paralysis. Whereas somebody else would go, oh, the demons, or oh, the aliens, and then once it clicks, it seems to go away, because it's happened a couple other times. And as soon as at first you panic a little bit, but then as soon as it clicks in, oh, it's sleep paralysis, that seems to go away.
Yeah.
But it's definitely scary.
Yeah, I had this old house that was a part of the Underground Railroad, roughly 100 years ago or so. And I had this light switch in the basement that clicked. And it wore out, and I could get it to work if I kind of fiddled with it, but it just wasn't working anymore. It was old. It was probably a 50-year-old light switch. And even some of the light switches down in the basement were the old style, where you had to turn them, where it had two cords going into it, separate cloth-covered cords, old cords, or cord-covered wiring. And but this one had been replaced sometime probably in the 50s, my guess. And because they'd remodeled the house to put indoor plumbing, indoor facilities. And because it just had a bath, and actually the toilets were outside. It didn't have, it had running water, but it didn't have, originally, from the sounds of it, looks of it, it just had, a sink, and baths. And so the click, 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 you would hear that every once in a while. I would wake up and hear that click, 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 click of the basement light switch. And it broke. And the stairway to the upstairs had the same light switch. And when that one broke, about 2 weeks later, I would sleep upstairs. I would hear that thing going off incessantly until I fixed the one back downstairs in the basement. And I don't have an explanation for that. It happened more than once. I had a girlfriend at the time who would mention that it was happening. I had neighbors. I was a bartender in the neighborhood. I had neighbors who could see the light going on and off in the middle of the night, asking me why I was flickering the lights on and off all the time.
What's that crazy guy doing over there?
and I don't have an explanation.
Old wiring and old switches. That's suspect right there. So
yes,
if it was a modern switch, then then you got to ask. But
it's funny,
something that can just rock back and forth like that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when my cousin, he's an engineer for a hospital in Ohio, and he came to visit. And I was like, "Hey, take a look at this. See if you can fix this." Because I started to open it, and I heard a zzz, on it, and I was like, okay, that's enough for me. And so he pulls it apart. He looks at it. He goes, "How the hell haven't you had a fire?" I'm like, "It's fine with me if this place burns down. It'd be
Hello,
doing me a favor."
hello, Mark. Let's see. Your Halloween was yesterday, so happy post Halloween, Mark.
So So he pulls the wiring out and he's like, "This is such a fire hazard." He's like, "I have no idea how this thing is held together." So he fixed it, put a new one in there. And I would still hear him. It wasn't as loud as the other one, but I still hear that one played with. But yeah, that's my ghost story for the Halloween Eve.
My ghost story is for like a week. I kept hearing this noise, and it was a really weird noise, like voices, and it's like little tiny little voices. Like, what? Where is that coming from? And you could only hear it when the house was really really quiet. Late at night, which doesn't help the situation because it's the middle of the night. And when there's no traffic out, and it's just so quiet, and I'd hear these little voices. I was like, man. And usually my ears are pretty good, and the wife doesn't always hear it like I do. So it's driving me even more nuts because I'm like, don't you hear that? And it's like, no. And it's like, keep hearing these little voices. So after about a week, it was so quiet one night that I could get a bead on it. And I started going from room to room around the house. No, wait, it's getting louder here, right? And I finally discovered it was one of my kids' wrestling toys in the bottom of his closet was laying in such a way that the button was pressed. And it was saying, something like, come at me, brother, or one of them wrestling phrases, right? But it's out of that cheesy little action figure speaker thing, going. So it's this little tiny voice, and for a week it drove me insane. And I was right though; it was a tiny little voice.
That's funny. Huh. Yeah, I don't have any Bigfoot stories, but I do have, when I was hiking the trail, I do have a suspected oddity that I was in an area called the roller coaster back in 2004. 2004, I'm hiking an area called the roller coaster on the Appalachian Trail, and it's not too far from where Virginia meets West Virginia, and you're straddling, areas close to looking over the, the Shenandoah Valley and stuff. And I was hiking, and I need to tell you this: there's fresh footprints of somebody wearing an engineer's boot, and the shoe is massive. I mean, it's a huge footprint. There is no way you can miss whoever's wearing this. And it's going in the same direction of travel. And somebody finally comes the other way. And I was like, have you seen anybody today? And they're like, no, haven't seen anybody. I'm like, look at this footprint. And I walked a few feet until I found a fresh one. And it had to have been, a fresh footprint. I wish I'd taken a picture of it as a comparison, but I didn't. I came across the creek and I, took pictures of the way the water was moving around the rocks. It was, kind of hypnotic. That's the only pictures I took instead of this massive footprint in comparison to mine. Like, it had to have been, I was wearing around a 12 and a half shoe, and it was more than double the size of my foot. So if Bigfoot is literally,
Footprints are a problem though, because if you've got big old mud boots on and you're walking in the mud and you slide in the mud, you're going to leave a big footprint. There's
these
so
were
many.
These were.
There's just so many variables that can happen. Like with the bears, A lot of the bear stories are the big tracks are because they step in their own tracks.
Mm.
So they're going to extend their and bears already have pretty big feet, and if you stretch it out a little bit by stepping on the twice and bringing the toes up, elongating it out a little bit, yeah, you've got a Bigfoot track. So
Yeah, I saw
I
plenty
just
of bear paw marks.
tracks for me are really
But
weak. In this day and age, we should have roadkill of Bigfoot.
mm-hmm.
You know, a hunter should have taken one out, and not these hunter stories that say, "Oh, I shot a Bigfoot, but then I panicked and I buried it." It's like you buried a 10-foot ape in the woods with what? Yeah, I just don't see that they dug a hole and buried a critter that big. I
Yeah.
mean,
I I remember about 20 years ago seeing a few documentaries on somebody who had shot a Bigfoot, and it just there was a flash, and it just disappeared instead of it dropping.
I,
Um,
I was just
Whether
wa-
that's credible or not, I never investigated. I don't even remember, but I just remember that moment.
I was just watching there's this fella on YouTube that's got freezer Bigfoot parts, and Trees and were making Swanson frozen dinner jokes.
Okay. Uh, yeah.
But yeah, the ones that have claimed to have shot Bigfoot, the ones that claim to have it in a freezer, uh, that one guy claimed to have a Bigfoot body, but then was revealed it was a hoax, and he had to say, yeah, admit it was a hoax. I think he even got fined for it or something.
Hmm.
So a few years later, he came on and he goes, "Hey, guess what? I've got a Bigfoot body." He's going to try again. No, no, seriously, this time it's. And of course, it was like a fursuit or something. It was just so terrible. But
Yeah.
I there, I want to see a Bigfoot. I know Bree wants to see a Bigfoot. Uh, Bree used to be big into Bigfoots. My co-host Trees used to be a believer in Bigfoots, and I think you can run into some big, scary animals, especially when it's dark or a surprise. And with the adrenaline kicking in, it makes everything bigger than life, scarier than life, bigger teeth, bigger claws. Everything gets exaggerated. And I think that's part of our response to those kind of things. So you're always going to take away from it that it was bigger than and scarier than and everything else because that was your justification to get out of Dodge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but now, if you go to the other route, Bigfoots are Nephilim. Um, Bigfoots are interdimensional beings, and that's why we don't have bodies. Is because when they die, they get beamed up.
Yeah.
Bigfoots are shapeshifters, so you never know what shape they died in. They could have been a bug or something, and so you wouldn't know it was a Bigfoot when it died. There's just so many. There's just so many lines of thinking with the Bigfoots. It depends which way you go with it. You go $6 million man. Bigfoot was a robot, so
Hmm. And my other Appalachian Trail scary story is normally when you're walking through the woods, there's the sound of the the squirrels and chipmunks hopping through the underbrush, and the sound of the insects and the birds and everything. There's just like a song being sung in nature constantly.
mhm.
And I think I was in Connecticut. Um, but it might have been early New York, but Connecticut, New York area. And it was quiet. It was a pretty nice day. And normally you would hear all of those things singing their song. The insects and the birds and the normalcy of all the sounds. Quiet, dead quiet for about a 10-mile stretch that day. Nobody, and there were weird limbs falling from trees. So something felt like it was following me, and I had heard from others that they had experienced something similar that day. That they just felt like they were being followed. It was eerily quiet when it wasn't normally that way. And I think somebody mentioned that Slenderman type of activity was what they suspected, if I remember correctly.
I would say it's a weather front because the changing pressure can make you feel funny, and it can make all the critters go quiet if a storm's coming.
Yeah. I don't remember a storm coming that day, but
we had a tornado once in town when I was a kid, hit a few miles away. And I remember that day because it got so quiet. Like you said, everything just got eerily quiet. Not a bug, a bird, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sky got this weird orange color. And then we had a tornado hit a few miles down the road. It that eerie quiet. And so I always, my wife grew up in the country, so tornado sirens go off, and she's like, oh, and I'm like, just we're in the city. First of all, it's usually it just takes out maybe a house or a tree or something. But I start to panic if it gets quiet.
Yeah.
And
it is unusual.
We haven't had that because you get the real quiet first, and then they say you hear the freight train sound.
Yeah, I've experienced that a couple times. When I was in the kid, I was in the barn one time, and a tornado came up on us that was a little scary. And then
I'm not saying don't take them lightly. I'm just saying.
And then
in our area, they're usually pretty mild. So.
I worked at a car dealer, and there were serious tornadoes activity in a spring of spring of 01, and we had a grate behind like the entry to a ditch, and we actually went into it, and you could see the sirens were going off. You could see the path. It was just coming right down on us, and you got rained on a little bit, but in this ditch, but didn't tear up anything. And where we were at, but miles away, it did. It tore up pretty well in the Auburn, Garrett, Indiana area in, I think, 2001, spring of 2001.
We had a home improvement / I don't know,
that's
kind of store. The chain was called Bargain City, and Bargain City lost its roof or had roof damage or something.
Oh wow!
And
we had a tornado go through our backyard actually this year. It was a F0. Went through our backyard.
A dust devil.
It was let's just say there were thunderstorms that were worse. We were rebuilt without a doubt. Like,
the weird one, we had the sirens went off one year, and one block away, my buddy lived 1 block away. On the other block, all up and down the street, all the big, huge, old trees were all knocked over crisscross across the street, just in this 1 block. And it's just like the tornado just dropped on that little block and because it just dropped right in, it knocked the trees, crossways. This one this way and this one this way across the street,
Hmm.
and they were like that, like a half a dozen houses down this one block. Big old trees, because our neighborhood was probably from the 40s or something. I mean,
Mhm.
so back then it would have been, a 30-year-old trees. And it
Yeah.
was the weirdest thing, just that one little thing. I mean, my buddy's like, dude, you got to come check it out. And it's literally, around the block, and nothing over here, and around the block, they had all their trees knocked over. Really
Yeah.
weird.
I want to say in July of it was either July of '07 or July of '08, a massive thunderstorm, series of thunderstorms came through Chicago, and it knocked down about three three to five every single street in my area. Uh, Trees that were in the tree lawn, 3 to 5 on every street were killed, just toppled over, laying on cars, closed streets closed. Almost every street was closed in my neighborhood. Living in Lincoln Park, we had like a 10-day series of thunderstorms, and it just walloped the Lincoln Park in that summer. I'd never seen anything like it. And
We had our we had a neighbor call us the one day and say, "Your tree's on fire." And it's like, what do you mean our tree's on fire? And there's like, your tree's on fire. Well, our tree must have got hit by lightning. And the
hmm,
very tippity top, yeah, it was smoldering at the very, it wasn't on fire, but it was smoking. And we didn't hear it or anything. It was the weirdest thing right there in the yard. And the neighbor had to call to tell us. So, supposedly it's, a loud noise and everything. And we had a silent but deadly hit our tree, I guess.
hmm.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. Phone rings, your tree's on fire. And it was one of the elderly neighbors, so they're shrieking in the phone, your tree's on fire. And we're like, what do you mean the tree's on fire? You got the right number? But yeah, it was smoldering. It got singed a little bit. Has it ever rained fish where you're at? You ever been near the water and
No.
experienced anything like that?
We've heard of microbursts on the lake that are severely damaging, but I have not experienced it. But I have never had fish sucked up into the and then dropped someplace else. I've never experienced that.
Hello, Sydney. I started out playing with the Ouija board. My IT help slash son and I started out. We wanted to have two hands on the Ouija board because I didn't have that covered. And since then, and because I've been playing with the Ouija board, and I had tarot card lessons with Robin yesterday, that's in the chat. And the beginning of the month, I started out with the summoning stream, and I'm supposed to be seeing some aliens that are actually demons. And to be honest, I was hoping I would go for a ride in a spaceship and get a lap dance from the green Star Trek lady. And
Hmm.
my wife even said, you know what? You can have that lap dance with the green Star Trek lady. So I even got a hall pass to get the lap dance from the green Star Trek lady. So come pick me up, you know, let's get freaky. Do some green alien boogie.
Green alien boogie. How about that?
If anybody that knows the old Star Trek episode, there was a green alien woman that gave Captain Kirk a what we would call maybe a lap dance, an erotic type dance, and kind of stuck in some people's minds. So it's one of those. I don't know if I'd call it a fantasy, but if I had to pick a alien out of all the movies and everything to get freaky with, it'd probably be the Green Dancer in the Star Trek series. It just comes to mind.
Hmm. I'll have to ponder what my answer would be to this.
But I mean, that wouldn't be the only reason I would, I would happy to be something blinking in the sky or moving erratic in the sky that I couldn't explain. Because I've never seen anything like that either. I know some people who claim they have seen something
Huh.
they couldn't explain. They aren't jumping to that it was an alien or anything. But I've never even experienced that. It's got red and blue lights and it's getting lower and it's heading this direction. It's going to the airport over here. So, and we also have National Guard that practice, so they rip and tear around here every once in a while. So I'm fully aware of what they look like and sound like and everything too. And we've got a hospital nearby, so it's got the life flight. So I know exactly what those helicopters look like when they're zipping over and landing at the hospital and everything. And I can identify everything I've ever seen. So,
Hmm.
and I say I've been peeking through a telescope since I was a kid. I don't do it a lot, but I've done it. I'm on my fourth. This is my fourth telescope now, and they've all gotten bigger and better. I can zoom right in on craters on the moon now, and nothing's ever flown into the field of view or anything. So, and according to Hugh Ross, the people that play with this occult stuff, just like this, all you gotta do is play around with this one. He said one, it was a husband and wife or something like that or whatever, but they did the Ouija board at some party, and then I think I don't know stuff was floating around the room or something, and it was some they just did at a party. So I'm doing it here in the dark with my crystals and my candles and my spell books and my tarot cards, and I got my demon portal on the spell under the desk, and nothing. So
Hmm.
I'm hopeful, but yeah, I did put my fingers on it.
So I looked it up, and I think it was August 4th and 5th of 2008. It was called a Derecho. Dorico? Not sure. Uh, but three tornadoes, EF2s, went downtown Chicago, and they had the Cubs game evacuated. Winds hit 97 mile an hour. Storms moved east over Lake Michigan. Widespread damage reporting Lake Porter and Port counties. Maybe that was the one.
uh, it would definitely freak people out, yeah, if it started raining fish. Those, those kind of stories were always interesting, and I mean, it would freak people out today. Even you'd probably figure out what it was, but at first, you're like, what the heck's a fish flying out of the sky for? And I think
Yeah.
the frogs too. Yeah, we put our fingers on it, Samami. Like I said, I when I did my stream, I was playing with it by myself. I was just examining it and everything. And to be fair, you should have at least another set of hands on. So I had my partner assist me at the beginning of the video, and my IT tech and I, we moved it all around. We both had our hands on it. We tried to give it a good feel and be fair, and we did notice that when I move this around, it seems to be moved very nice. Okay, because it is wood, it's polished, and there's little feet on the back. Let me see, there we go. There's little feet there. So it moves around really nice.
Hmm.
But what else I noticed though is if you just give it a little pressure, a little one way or the other, because it is a tripod, you are going to go right off of that pad, and then it wants to stop. See what I mean? So
Hmm.
you go from smooth to, if you put pressure on one side, now you're not so smooth anymore. So I noticed when he and I both had our hands on it, I think that's what it's doing. You're getting a little lean on it. I'm exaggerating, but you're getting the lean. And as you get that lean, you go right off these tiny little felt pads,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're feeling drag right away,
So
because
it's
that's what I felt.
not the spirits.
I think it's in the tripod design. I think that if this thing had four legs on it,
Mm-hmm.
it would be totally different. I do think it has something to do with it rocks a little bit because it has three legs. And what are you doing? You know, people's hands are on the different sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not even intentional, but you know, as you extend your arm out, you know, oh, my arm's getting heavier. I'm pushing a little more now, right? Just because my arm's extended. Where if I pull my arm back in, now I don't have to have as much weight on it. So the more I reach out, the more I want to put my weight on it. And then it's going to want to do that. And if he's on, or she, or they, however many people you got on the other side, it's doing the same thing. So you're going to feel that. So if I'm putting this way, they're going to feel it from the other side, and they're going to feel the drag too. I That's my conclusion, is that you do feel something, and I think it's related to the tripod design because
Hmm.
it tips. And when it tips, it doesn't move as nice. So I think there is something that maybe, yeah, people are feeling that you are going to feel it, because that's what we were doing. Is we didn't really know what to do, so we moved it around. And when he and I were in a certain range of our muscles or whatever, it seemed to move smooth, just like I'm doing by myself. But when we would get to like one end or the other, it seemed we could feel it more. So, like when we were doing yes and no, it seemed to feel more this way because I was going more to my side and he was reaching out. Whereas the no, we were both a lot closer to the no because you know, we were trying to get in close to the camera, you know, so we were both in shot of the camera. So we were in real close to each other. So going no didn't really feel it. But when we went yes, we were extending, and it seemed to want to stay on yes. And I think it's because we were leaning it and
Hmm.
feeling that little bit of friction. That's what I'm honestly trying to figure out, of why anybody would feel anything. And if you play with it more, you know, this is brand new. This is out of the box. So if you play with this more, guess what's going to happen with these little feeties? They're going to wear down, you know, pretty fast. So then I think you're going to have even more, depending too on which foot wears out first, you're going to feel drag. So if somebody's, let's say this little footy wears out, you're going to have drag on this side. So anybody on that side is going to feel a little more drag than somebody on this side that's still got a nice little soft footy to move around. And that's what I think. So if anybody thinks different, you know, let me know in the comments or get a hold of me, you know. Um, but I think that's what it is. It's something with the tripod design. And by putting your hands on it, you're going to tip it a little bit. And then you're going to feel something one way or the other.
When where are you at in the world? Are you in
Ohio.
You're in Ohio? Oh, okay.
That's why we do the Grassman Chronicles, because in Ohio, Bigfoots are Grassman.
Oh.
And Trees is in Ohio too. We're on opposite ends of the state, so we got it covered.
Opposite ends of the state. Yeah,
Yep.
I grew up in Ohio till about the age of 10, up in
Tree,
the northwest corner.
I'm in Northwest Ohio, and Trees is in the southeast. He's in Bigfoot land.
Hmm.
Exactly, Bree. I was trying to figure out what, if anything, somebody would feel with it. And when I was playing with it by myself, giggity, uh, it just didn't have the same effect, as we all know, right? So we
We're
had to
still
get it.
talking about the Ouija board, right?
Yeah, we had to. Yeah, of course, we had to get another set of hands on the situation to see if it was the same or not. And it's, as we all know, it's not the same when you have another set of hands in there. So I do think if you've got a nice Ouija board that's not nicked up, you know what I mean, nothing that's gonna catch a groove or you know cause any friction. And again, this is the second time, third time it's been out of the box. First time is when I first got it, and I just opened it up to make sure it wasn't broken or anything. I didn't really play with it or anything. And the second time was when I did the summoning stream, and we actually had it out, and I moved this around on the board a little bit. So that's the only activity it's had until tonight. So it's, pristine. Now, if you're going to play with it a lot more, I could understand there being scratches and nicks and stuff in it that are going to affect how it feels. But I can tell you that anybody that's waxed a table or anything, this feels like it's waxed. You know,
Hmm.
it glides, but it doesn't so much that over waxed where it shoots off. Right? It just feels like it's waxed properly. It's just smooth. But as soon as he put his hands on it, it didn't feel like that anymore.
Hmm.
So
And and you think it's the lithographing? You think there's a chemical on top of the board, or it's just the process of
whatever,
lithographing?
whatever they. Uh, it looks like it's got like some kind of a coating on it, some kind of a clear coat on it.
Hmm.
So because you can see something along the edge here, so that maybe just a spray of some clear lacquer or something equivalent, because it does feel like it's got a waxy feel to it, like it doesn't feel like paper. Paper you can feel the grit to factor.
Yeah.
It's very fine. You can feel it. This doesn't have any of that. So
Yeah. It's I suspect in all honesty, I don't think I've ever really done a Ouija board. I remember there was one
me
hanging
neither.
around camp for rainy days, and I just always remember looking at it with the same skepticism that I should have had about Christianity. You know.
Yeah, that's a lot of people said they had them, and I never, and I was a little disappointed that I didn't have one, because we had one of the most awesome board game collections as kids.
Yeah.
I had a grandma who didn't have a lot of money, but she insisted on, don't spend the money on the kids, but she had to buy something. It's grandma. So the deal was, she bought us board games, and we always told everybody else, don't buy, or our parents did, no, don't buy board games, because grandma on fixed income, that's her thing, right? So every birthday, Christmas, or whatever, my brother and I got all kind of board games because they were, cheap. Back in the day, they were $5, $10 a
Yeah.
piece. So we had every board game you could want, And I didn't have a Ouija board.
Hmm.
I played almost every game. I had a Barnabas Collins game. You remember that show?
No.
No, he was a vampire. I had
Mm-mm.
a I had a Barnabas Collins game. You
Like
built a skeleton. It was like Cootie. Remember Cootie? You build the Cootie.
Cootie. Yeah, vaguely. I vaguely remember Cootie.
Well, this one you built a skeleton. Same idea. You
Yeah.
spin the spinner or whatever, and you have to get all the parts together and stuff.
The
Yeah,
video games I
no
most
Ouija board.
remember. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I just said we no Ouija board though. I
Yeah.
didn't have a Ouija board.
I don't think we had a Ouija board either. But the board games I remember playing the most were Sorry
Hmm.
and Clue. Played quite a bit of Clue. And Monopoly, of course. And there was one more I wanted to mention. And I've forgotten. A little bit of Risk. And I remember playing Risk, but nobody liked playing Risk with me because I was too cutthroat. So we didn't play very often.
we started a lot of games of Risk, and then it's like, okay, we'll finish later, and we left it on the table in the corner of the basement, and then by the time we got back to playing again, it already got all trashed, and
Yeah.
you have to start all over again. So I don't think I ever finished a game of Risk.
Candyland. I remember
had
Candyland
Candyland.
as a kid. It was a younger one. Life was a lot of fun. I remember really enjoying playing Life.
Yep. And Parcheesi.
I vaguely remember Parcheesi.
We liked it in our teenage years.
We played a lot of euchre instead.
You remember the speed games they had, like Numbers Up and stuff, where you had to put the little pieces in the place before it all went boom and popped up on you?
Oh yeah.
We had those on the shelf, and then when we got older, we pulled them out one day and we started challenging each other to see how fast we could do it. Forget beating the timer. We could do that. We were to the point of, could you do it, in so many seconds less, in so many seconds less. So we had the stopwatch out, and we were doing it like
Battleship.
That. Oh, Battleship, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've got
Love
both
Battleship.
versions. I've got an electronic version, and I've got the regular version, I guess, the non-electronic version. Oh yeah, I love Battleship.
Yeah, I really liked Battleship. Yeah, we played a lot of euchre growing up.
We had the Hangman where you turn.
Hangman,
it was almost like Battleship. You turn the dial, and the Hangman would fill in.
Operation. I don't know if you call that a board game, but it was a board game. An obscure one, Emergency 911, for the 70s show had a board game.
Everybody would have a board game in the day.
I don't remember what the strategy of it was, but it was kind of like a combination of Candyland and Life.
So we had the Toledo version of Monopoly.
The Toledo version, okay, yeah. I remember when those versions came out, and I've never owned one that I know of.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of different versions of chessboards. Do you remember the tic-tac-toe game that you threw the bean bags and you had to flip the?
Yes.
We had that. We had the bowling game, the electronic bowling game. You had the little black balls about the size of a handball, and you had the screen was an angled piece of plastic, and it shone the pins on, and then the sensors would pick it up.
Yeah.
We had one, and both my sets of grandparents had one. We were all into it for a couple years, and every time we just rolled around it, it's like, as soon as we got together, we get that bowling game out. We were all playing that bowling game.
Isn't that funny? Uh,
And then my
yeah, that reminds me of Check 4
Connect Four.
or Connect 4.
Connect Four, yeah, we had that. And Don't Break the Ice.
Don't break the ice. I'm not familiar with that.
You had all like square cubes stuck together, and you would tap them out with a hammer until you just hit the wrong one, and then the whole thing would fall through.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
It was the sides were kind of springy, so it was it would hold all the cubes together under tension, and you could knock so many out, but you get so far, and then it would fall through.
Hmm.
And of course, I had grandparents that loved to play cards, so we played a lot of cards. We played Go Fish, we played Rummy, we played Pinochle, we played Euchre, we played poker. Uh,
Yeah.
you name it. They loved playing cards, and the thing was, I had one set of grandparents that played cards for fun, or what they would call playing for pennies, right? And then my other set of grandparents, they would play cards with people like from the lodge and stuff that took cards a lot more seriously, right? So when you're at one set of grandparents' house, you could get away with things. And you're at the other set of grandparents' house, and it's like, hold on, you reneged 2 hands ago there. You played cards.
Right. That's funny. Yeah.
I swear my grandfather on my father's side could count cards. He knew where every card was on the table.
Yeah.
He was on it.
I think when they get that good though, I don't think you even need to play cards. You know what beats you, and it's in euchre anyway. Once you know what beats you and that sequence is off, you want to go back and see, whether you're fooling yourself or somebody fooled you.
Oh, my grandfather played cribbage all the time with his buddies too, but
I'm not familiar with
we
that.
we never really learned how to play it. But,
Yeah, I'm not familiar with
he
that.
would have the
Rummy.
cribbage board out.
Rummy 500 we play all the time.
Oh
My
yeah.
dad was really good at that. In fact, I think of there's an example in how good are you at playing Rummy?
Oh, we used to play Rummy in Tripoli, which is Michigan Rummy.
The strategy of
card,
where you
7 card. Yeah,
where you lay down a card that you want to pick up later.
Mm-hmm.
What's that called? You purposely lay down a card that that
I don't know
you'll be picking
what
up.
the term is. Yeah, but I know what you're talking about. The problem is my brother would always pick up that card.
Yeah, my dad is infamous for playing at that strategy.
My brother always knew I needed that card.
Yeah.
And he would hold it till the end too. He wasn't going to put it back down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we played a lot of cards. And then us at holidays, my grandmother used to give away the extra little presents as prizes things. So we would play the game where you had the shakers with the marbles in them, and you had to shake it and shake it and shake it and get the marbles through all the little holes to go from one end to the other through all the chambers.
Hmm.
And the family would split up. And you'd start out with the first person, and you'd have to shake the marbles all the way through to the end, and then you flip it over, give it to the next person, and it would go all down, and everybody'd be shaking the hell out of that thing, trying to get the marbles, and get your little grandma prizes and stuff. She liked having the proper parties, and stuff. So that was always a lot of fun too. And then there was times where we weren't invited. There was certain occasions. My mom had some friends, and when they would start playing cards, us kids could join in and play. And then it would be like, okay, it's time for you to leave. Go ride your bikes or something, because they would start playing for money. They
No.
started playing for money. They didn't want the kids around,
No.
especially because of the language.
That's funny.
They would turn ugly once the money starts hitting the table. Everybody turns serious. I not not in a bad way, but things got real serious, and it was time for the kids to get out of the room. So we were out riding our bikes and they were playing cards. So
Huh.
those were good times too, because it always started with swimming in the pool, and her husband would make the uh, corn on the cob in the garbage can thing.
Corn on the cob in the garbage can.
You buy a brand new garbage can, a metal one, and you throw all the corn on the cob in there, and you start a fire under it.
Huh.
Yep, in the
Sounds
garbage.
like succotash.
That's how he made the corn. So we'd have sloppy joes, corn on the cob, and then it was time to go catch lightning bugs or go ride your bike or whatever. And then they would play cards for a while. And we would get all sleepy and we'd ride home half asleep in the back of the car. Good, good times. Good times.
Huh.
We played. We were always playing. And when I got older, I had a friend of mine. He had ants in his pants, so he would, hey, let's play football. Play catch with a football. Let's play catch with a frisbee. Let's grab our mitts, play catch with a baseball. He'd come knocking on my door. He'd have a basketball in his hand. He's dribbling. Hey, let's go to the court, right? So we'd be over there shooting basketball. So we were always playing something. And if we couldn't find something to play, we were making up games. So of course, you didn't have electronic games, and not till I was older. So we made up games. We made up a lot of games, and we had a lot of challenge games. And the older we got, the more the challenge. We would play school, basketball, and then the older we got, we started playing. School was first grade through eighth grade. Then as we got older, we added like high school and college, and we were like halfway down the driveway trying to make the shots. We were always doing something. So I had a great childhood. Yeah, played a lot of games, played a lot of good old outside stuff, playing the uh, games like Red Rover, send so and so over, and you try to break through the arm chain.
Hmm.
Uh, red light, green light, um, water balloon fights, snowball fights, all that. I had a great childhood. We had a great neighborhood. We had lots of kids, so yeah, we played. I often wonder. I want a couple of times. I thought, I'd like to go back and check in the old neighborhood and see if home plate is still there. We had a rock that we buried into the ground that we used for home plate out
Hmm.
out in front of my house. It was buried in the driveway, and you'd kick it off, and it was there year after year. Sometimes I wonder if that rock is still there. You know,
Hmm.
and I got a scar in my eyebrow from playing baseball, basketball. We were playing baseball with a basketball, and I hit the basketball with the bat, and it bounced right off the basketball, and it hit me right in the eyebrow. So I've got a little scar right in my eyebrow there. Busted
This
myself good.
this is why we never have nice things.
I saw stars. I was like, hello, got my bell rung. Baseball bat upside my own face. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't play baseball with a basketball.
Hmm.
We were creative though. We were always playing a pickup game. We would play football. If it was snowing out, here come the gang. Let's go play football because everybody wanted to tackle somebody right into a snow mound.
Hmm.
Good times. Good times. Yeah, but I had great childhood. I had great friends, great grandparents. Um, I was just talking about the stream I did about my uncle passing. That we'd go out on the boat in the summer and catch all kind of fish out on the lake, and good times, good times. So I'm sorry, all the arguments that I'm just an angry atheist, that I was abused in my childhood, that I didn't have any friends, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Nope. I had a great childhood. I went through scouting. My parents were involved. Um, no problems. Went to Sunday school and everything. No problems. I didn't have one of those uncles or anything hanging around too much. Um, Nobody ever touched me or my brother. Me and my brother didn't get beat. Parents didn't hit us. Not anything serious, anyways. My mom used to like to crack you across the back of the hand with a spatula if you said a cuss word or something. But my we had lived in a nice neighborhood. I say lots of kids. Um, my parents were like everybody else. When the street light came on, you better be home or you weren't going out the next day. We didn't get SWATs. We got grounded. So
Hmm.
I always thought that was worse because my buddy would take a SWAT and he'd be right back outside playing. I was stuck grounded all day. So yeah, we would get grounded and get chores. So get out there and pull the weeds and yeah, cut the grass. I want the garbage out. I want the garage cleaned up. My dad would give us a list because usually me and my brother seemed to f up at the same time. So I don't know if the moon was right that day or something, but
Now that checks.
most of the time, my brother and I were grounded on the same day. So, hey, Jer, how you doing? No luck, no luck with the board. Um, I openly said that the demons could show up and move something. I started the stream with my son joined me for a few, and we both had our hands on it. We gave it a fair shake. We tried a yes and no question up across the top. Let's see, across the top here. And then we tried something to spell through the letters. And then we tried something with the numbers across the bottom. And he needed to get some air so we couldn't keep him too long. But, he was a good sport. And if you missed it, check out the beginning. We did have an alien show up. I promised an alien, if at all possible. And I did have an alien here, uh, even if it was my IT guy. I do have a UFO. I got my UFO behind me. It's a cool AI picture, but not the same as the real thing or anything. But it is a cool picture, and I think, yeah, we talk about Bigfoot a lot, and we love Bigfoot, especially on the Grassman Chronicles. But space has always been my thing. I've been fascinated with it forever. I got mentioned Star Trek earlier, and Star Trek back in the day was a big thing. We didn't have a lot of cool space shows or movies or anything. Star Trek was, that was just wow, traveling the stars and That's always been my thing. I've always been big into thinking about traveling the stars, going to other planets. Is there life on other planets? And reading about things like black holes and all that. Just fascinating. Always has been. So that's my thing. So if it's going to be something, I want it to be an alien. I don't want Jesus to show up and if Bigfoot shows up, okay, that's all good. Bigfoot showed up. But if something like this showed up, that that would be that would just be awesome. Just I don't
Hmm.
It'd be so awesome to know that not only is there life out there, but you can actually travel from one galaxy to another in a realistic amount of time. That would that's hitting my geek button right there. Right back to the Star Trek days, right back to sitting there watching on the floor, with your watching the 19-inch black and white TV
Yeah.
and just fascinated watching Star Trek.
Um, well, when when you were a kid, were you more Star Trek than Star Wars?
Wasn't even Star Wars yet, so
You must be a touch older than I am. I'm 53.
I'm
I,
I'm 57, but
uh,
yeah, Star Wars. Star Wars. We didn't have access to it like we did Star Trek. It was at the theater. Even
yeah,
though the first one came out in the 70s, it was still how often could you go to the theater?
yeah.
Star Trek was Saturday afternoons. You know, there it was every week, every week, every week, every week. So and all the reruns. We had at least a couple channels that would run the reruns. So anytime Star Trek was on, I was glued. If there was anything on PBS, I was glued because once again, PBS was for all you youngins out there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
PBS was the Nature Channel. PBS was the Cooking Channel. PBS was your independent type news channel. All those oddball things was on the PBS, but you had to catch them when they were on, and wasn't 24/7 or anything else either. So I still remember when the national anthem would play and the televisions went off.
Oh yeah.
So it was this the message to the world. It's like, hey, you're up too late. Go to bed. But yeah, it's so if any of those things were on, I was glued. I was glued watching anything. And of course, the Mutual of Omaha would be on before Disney on Sundays. So we'd watch Mutual of Omaha, and then we'd watch the Wide World of Disney would have on whatever they would have on Sunday evenings.
Yeah.
So it was more of a matter of access. So definitely just because I could see Star Trek a lot more. Nowadays, you can punch it up on YouTube and you can watch it, whenever you want, a lot of stuff, or pay a couple bucks and stream it from somebody anytime you want. That was just unheard of. Then moving up to when we first got, VCRs and stuff, that was a whole other level because now you could actually watch movies when you wanted to, not when it was maybe on TV or when the theater had it. When you wanted to watch it, you could sit down, and if it took you another 15 minutes to get your snacks ready, hey, the tape was waiting for you. And then you went to streaming, and it's another whole wow. This is streaming is just so amazing.
Yeah.
And
Isn't that the
now
truth?
that's what I was talking about. That I think part of the saturation we've given ourselves recently. A lot of people have brain overload because there's just so much you can do, and you know, it all right now. You can watch a movie, you can do the news, you can play games, you can do all this stuff, and you can if you're talented enough, you can do it on split screen, do it all at the same time. Your brain's going a million miles an hour. You're thinking about all these things. Where back in the day, oh, next week, Mutual of Omaha is going to be on. What do we do in the meantime, right? And things were slowed down in between. And I don't think we get those breaks today because everything's just coming at us so not just so fast, but so readily available. You don't have to wait till next weekend to see something. You can watch it right now. You can
Yeah.
watch it in your hand while you're on the subway. Uh, so and it like everything else, it's a double-edged sword. I think it's got pros and cons.
Yeah, there's just it's really the same world, but just more.
Mm-hmm. And we've gone past midnight, and that's like supposedly like a witching hour or some other thing. So in my time zone here, I'm just after midnight. So and I still haven't seen anything move. I haven't seen any shadows. I haven't heard a bump in the attic or nothing has fallen. I can't even get my cat to knock something over. I got nothing. At least the dog or the cat, they're all. It's kind of cold here today, so the dogs are outside. They come in and they curl up and they're crashed. So they're not making a sound. Even I can't even hear my kid through the wall. Usually, I hear some cussing going on when he's gaming over there, but he seems to even be pretty tame tonight. So yeah, it's nice and quiet. I checked the view outside. Looks like it stopped snowing. I don't have any wind or anything, so I'm not going to hear any branches or anything like that.
Hmm.
I've got peace and quiet. Quiet animals, quiet gamer. I got my nut. Oh, somebody must have died. He just yelled about something. um, yeah, but I've got my nice little setup here, and I think it looks pretty scary to any of the believers in any of this stuff because they seem to be terrified of it. Again, I want to tell you, believers, I just not feeling it.
Hmm.
If you're getting bad vibes off of this stuff, I don't know what it is. I've been touching it and everything. It's been in my possession for more than a month. I've had it out more than once, and I think it looks cool. It looks like a cool piece of art to me. That's like me, with the sun and moon stuff on it. It looks kind of, something astrology or spiritual or whatever. And it's got what is in the corner? Oh, okay. It's just some people with their hands on that thing there in the corner. Yeah, it looks like a piece of art and crystals. I don't know why crystals are so scary. I think they're pretty. It's like
Yeah.
some rose quartz there. It's got the little pink inlays in there. It's pretty neat. I'm not sure what this one is, but it's black and gray. Sometimes it's just amazing just thinking about, all that went into just making a rock, you
Hmm.
know, all the colors and the layers and the materials and the heat and the pressure and the erosion and just to get a rock. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's magical, but in a way, it is magical.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
They're pretty. This one's really pretty. It's got the definite layers going in it.
Huh.
It's got the striations in there. It must have been something stressed it to make all that in there. A lot of heat and pressure, I'm guessing. All the different colors, and then a rock. But they haven't helped me at all. When I did my tarot card reading with Robin, she told me I drew the worst card you can possibly draw.
Oh boy. Yeah, sometimes the bad stuff's good.
Well, it was my past card. So
Mm.
maybe that's better to not than be a future card. But yeah, tarot decks. I don't know. I can't remember exactly how many cards there are, but there's a lot of cards in that deck, and I drew out the worst one. It wasn't a good start to the reading, but it did get better. My cards did get better, so I'm hopeful. And I say it's a lot better than drawing it for your future card.
Huh.
Yeah, it's not magic, but it's magic. Osho used to say, I don't believe in God as a person. I believe in godliness as a quality.
Yeah, that's a pretty good evaluation. I would have to agree with that. Like like uh, let's just say if humanity all thought, "Hey, I am human. I make mistakes, but let's try to act better than human." What would be the difference?
Progress.
It would be progress.
Even if it's very small, it's progress. The the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
Yeah.
Be all Confuciusy, Platonic, and all the great philosophers with all their great words, standing on the shoulders of giants. Somebody was, I think James, was it James? Somebody was talking one day about being accused of repeating somebody, and it's like, well, it's hard to not repeat somebody anymore, you know? Uh, Coming up with a unique saying or a unique sentence, it's kind of hard to do. I try to give the people in Hollywood a break too when people are complaining, oh, they're doing another remake, and it's like, it's got to get tough, coming up with new ideas all the time. What movie hasn't been done, you know?
Yeah, the we're kind of in a day and age where I guess how do I say this? We we have the capability of what a movie studio was 30 years ago in our back pocket and then some. So if you want to make a movie yourself, you can get like 3 iPhones together and just go on an adventure. So the movie studios don't make movies that are original anymore. They make more or less what they already know what brings people in.
Mm-hmm.
Why make an extended story to Top Gun, for instance? But it was very entertaining. I went and watched it. It pulled me back into the theaters.
I can't do Tom Cruise. Worst
Yeah.
act. I say Tom Cruise is the worst actor since DeMont Wilson, and I like DeMont Wilson. DeMont Wilson always looked like he was reading the cue cards and his lips were moving. It's, he always seemed to be looking right at the cue card, like he was. But I liked him. I liked Cruz. I don't know. He rubs me wrong. I
Huh.
don't. Maybe in Rain Man, he's tolerable.
Yeah.
Um, he has no range. I mean, let's be honest. He has no range.
He's not one of my favorite actors either.
He
Uh,
he's got the
I think
range is
sometimes
about
he's
the
a brilliant
same.
actor. I think Tom Hanks is a brilliant actor. One of the best
He
actors
is. He
in
is.
terms of taking a character and making him. Um, but Tom Cruise, I don't know.
Tom
I,
Cruise is always Tom Cruise. It doesn't matter what character he plays. He has the same voice, the same attitude, the same facial expressions. He's
yeah,
got no range. Yeah, Tom Hanks can transform from Forrest Gump to Mister Rogers to the Sully the pilot. You know, he can transform, and you know it's the same guy, but you kind of get the transform coming out. You know, where with Tom Cruise, well, it's Tom Cruise.
yeah,
You're not going to get nothing else.
yeah. I'd have to agree with that. You can only see Tom Cruise eh, that the director zoomed in on his face, and we get to see his acting chops going on right there in front of your face so many times.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not a fan. I can't like everybody, right?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. It's
Only believable as a jackass. Was it Future Polar Express? Yeah, Polar Express was a cute little movie.
yeah, yeah. It was. That was a cute little
I still
movie.
remember Bosom Buddies.
Oh yeah.
So,
Actually, the movie that changed my mind about Tom Hanks was Dragnet.
oh, I love that movie.
Oh yeah, excellent
Seen it,
movie.
seen it a
As an
bazillion times.
anti-theist, the plot line of that movie is excellent.
Oh yeah, all the pagan stuff going on. Yeah, I've got
So,
quite a few memes in my collection from that movie where they're sitting on the cop car in the pagan outfits with the goat skin leggings and everything on. Just good time movie. Well, he's uh, what's is it Turner and Hooch when he's got the dog?
oh yeah, Turner and Hooch.
That dog that's always eating up his house and everything.
Yeah, Turner and Hooch.
Now they'll say often don't play opposite an animal because they'll steal the stardom from you or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think both of them played off each other equally in that movie. It was great. Hey Ember, nope, no demons, no aliens, and I just told Tux it's after midnight here, so it's like even the spooky time of day, and my son and we did the Ouija board earlier, so we had more than one set of hands on it. I got crystals out. I got my 6 candles out because I figured six, and you add another 6 and another 6, you got 666. So, and yesterday I did a real great stream with the Kentucky Atheist and Robin, who gave some excellent tarot card lessons. You can go watch that on Kentucky Atheist channel. Make sure you do that. And after you're done watching it there, you can watch it again on my channel because I've got it posted on my channel too. It's a little long, but if you want to learn about tarot cards, it takes more than 15 minutes. Okay, so you can watch it at a little faster speed. Helps out a little bit. But if you really want to know about some tarot card stuff, Robin told us all kind of stuff about tarot cards yesterday. So it was really cool. Really appreciated it. Robin used to be really big into witchcraft, so she knew a lot of the terminology and what to do and what not to do and what to use for what. She did a few spells, so that was cool too, learning about that. And yeah, what better way to wrap up October and have for Halloween Eve and Halloween than talking to a witch about tarot cards and spells, doing a Ouija board, and I got to have my son back on because I said about a year ago when I first started the channel, I only had a few videos, and my son and I sat down and we reviewed the Amityville Horror, and we had a good time doing it. Father son moment. And so I was like, it'd be cool to get him back on for a minute, and for Halloween because he was on last year. So he was a good sport and participated. And in return, I told him, hey, I'll plug the shit out of your channel. So if you're a gamer, Ember, you're a gamer, right? Uh, Obsidian marker is in the description. Sorry, my thing slid down on my chair here. My little lumbar pillow. Um, yeah, check it out. Ember, Obsidian marker description. Link is in the description. He's got what's he got? Let's check his thing here. Uh, 254 videos. Man, that kid games a lot. So yeah, if you're a gamer out there, check out Obsidian marker. Link is in the description, and maybe hook up if you guys play some similar games or whatever. I've got one of my kids is a gamer, so check out his channel, give him a sub, help him out, show some love and appreciation for putting on that very hot outfit earlier and making sure that we had an alien for everybody because that just putting that mask on that thing is suffocating. So he earned some subs just for wearing that mask. So help him out, drop him a sub, and give him a couple views on his gameplay there, and give him some critiques on how terrible he is at playing the game and everything. All that kind of gamer talk. But he was a good sport. He was a good sport last year. He's a good sport this year. And I do appreciate my boy. He is my IT guy. He does have an IT degree. And comes in handy when I'm stuck, and he can come in there and hit a few keys and make my stuff work again for me. So I greatly appreciate it. Even though it's usually, what do you want? I said, something not working. Ah, give me a minute. But he will hit pause when he gets when he can, and come in here with his headset dangling and everything. What do you need? What do you need? He picks me up. So he's a good man. Good man. Yeah, that's me. I was just talking with my boy. We've only played a video game a couple of times this year, so we got to sit down and play. I'm getting beyond rusty. Last time I played, it took me a few minutes to just learn the buttons again. I was so lost. Yeah, unfortunately, no demons, No aliens. And yeah, I put in the time, I put in the effort. I got the goodies. I got the Ouija board. I don't have my books handy. I had to clean off my desk to make room for the Ouija board. But yeah, I did. I had the spell book, two spell books actually, because again, with this was all stemmed from Hugh Ross saying that a lot of the demonic activity is real big now in India. So that's why one of the spell books I get was basically old Hindu spells or Hindu-like spells. I'm not sure if it's actually part of Hinduism or not. Just saying that's the area of the world the book came from because I'm trying to stick to what Hugh Ross said. And he said, in case anybody doesn't know, and to refresh everybody's memory, I was doing a review video about UFOs and aliens. SJ had a guest on. They kept talking about Hugh Ross. So I went and checked out what Hugh Ross was saying. And I pretty much assumed and knew Hugh Ross as a moderate Christian. And I thought he did good science, even though he still had his beliefs, which I can deal with moderates, and I really don't see a problem with moderates. However, when he started talking about UFOs, it all became a lot of demon stuff. Everything's demons, things floating around the room, and all this stuff. And in so many words, he said, if you dabble with this stuff, these are the people that see UFOs and aliens. He said, as an astronomer, he's never seen a UFO or an alien, not even looking through a telescope. But people who play around with this occult stuff, like the stuff you're seeing here, whenever they look through a telescope, they always see UFOs, an alien or alien spacecraft, whatever you want to call them. And that this is testable. He said it's testable. People who dabble in the occult see UFOs and aliens. People who are good Christians never see UFOs or aliens. However, I would point out that Jimmy Carter does seem to be one good Christian, and Jimmy Carter reported seeing a UFO. So, kind of, you know, sorry, Hugh Ross, but that doesn't fly because if Jimmy Carter isn't a good Christian, what is? Right? This man has put in a lot of hours for charity. He uh, teaches Sunday school. He doesn't seem to have any skeletons in his closet. Um, Seems to have kept his nose clean and been very godlike, a good humanitarian, um, good person, good guy. Reported seeing a UFO. So I wouldn't say that it always holds that believers never see these things.
Mm-hmm.
And Hugh claimed you would either see a UFO, an alien, or you would hear from them in your head, or you would see something, or all together you would get abducted. One of them, something related to either a UFO or a direct alien encounter. If you dabble with all this stuff, and like, yeah, I was talking with Robin the Witch yesterday, talking about spells and everything, and I did a tarot. I did my own reading, trying to learn. She did a reading of me and Kentucky Atheist. So we were doing all that beginning of the month. I was unboxing basically. So I unboxed stuff, unboxed the Ouija board, the tarot cards. They were all brand new, never touched them, never tainted them, never messed with them. Never, I intentionally didn't read about it or anything because I wanted to go in blind. Okay. I didn't want to go in saying, oh, this is that or this is this. I didn't have a clue. So I was trying to be as innocent as possible, playing with this stuff, reading the directions. Okay. Now, all this summed up, Hugh says the aliens are actually demons. So we're getting deceived and we're being fooled into not believing in Jesus, which doesn't make sense either because the believers believe in Jesus, but they're not seeing the UFOs or the aliens. But the non believers are seeing the UFOs and aliens who are saying don't believe in Jesus when we already don't believe in Jesus.
Hmm.
So the demon strategy seems to be pretty weak here. Not to mention they crash their UFOs into the planet all the time. And
Yeah, that.
Hugh says they're invisible, so it's there was an X Files episode, and it was the genie episode, and the one guy wished to be invisible, and
Oh
he was
yeah.
running around having a great time being invisible.
No, he asked.
Then he got hit by a car, and he was laying by the roadside dying, and nobody knew to help him because he was invisible.
Really, that was it. I remember an X Files where there was a Jinn, and she gave him peace on Earth,
Mm.
and it was similar to the scene from Vanilla Sky, Tom Cruise's Vanilla Sky,
Yeah, there was
when
the episode, and because one of the other ones, the guy they went to the morgue to investigate this death, and they looked under the blanket, of the body on the gurney there, and they're like making comments and everything and stuff. Well, what this guy had wished for was what many men would wish for,
yes, I
but his
remember that.
was so big when it filled up with blood, he died. So it was all, yeah, be careful what you wish for. Again, yeah, you got the world's biggest, you know what, but as
Yeah.
soon as it filled up with blood, you died. The invisible guy, yeah, he got hit by a car. He's laying by the side of the road going, help me, somebody help me. Why won't anybody help me?
I do remember that episode. It's
I
been a
don't,
while.
I can't remember all of them, but yeah, it was the genie episode. And I
And
saw the episode that they never showed on TV a second time too, because I was a fan and I never missed an episode
yeah.
where they had the family inbreeding under the floorboards. They only showed it once. They didn't show it again, and I saw it, and it was creepy.
Huh. I probably saw it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, it was the censors had a cow, and I mean it was an R, maybe X-rated type genre. It was just that, the inbreeding thing and the keeping them under the floorboards and all that kind of stuff. And it was Silence of the Lambs and all that weird type of thing. Was it Hills Have Eyes? It was
Yeah.
basically like the Hills Have Eyes, and they were having it on TV on Friday night. It didn't fly very well. So supposedly, the last I heard that it's never been shown again. It was only shown the one time and never again. So if you have seen it, you're one of us. It was the lucky few that saw it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bree saw it.
I watched that stuff religiously from somewhere around 95. January 95 on. It got a little weird in the last season. There's too much alien hocus pocus. I always enjoyed the X Files for the X Files, the alien hocus pocus stuff, and the drama between Mulder and Scully. I don't care so much about the romantic drama.
It
Got weird.
I was all in. I would wear my X Files shirt, and I had people buying me all kind of X Files stuff, and I was all my mouse pad was X Files. I was
They came out with a movie not that long ago.
it was
Was it any good? I don't know if I saw it.
the movie was good.
The
Yeah.
second movie, not the first one from the late 90s
Well,
area.
and I know Bree has to be a big fan of the X Files with the black goo, right? Remember the black oily alien stuff?
Yeah.
Bree did a show about the black goo, so we've been joking about black goo back and forth. Oh, I love the X Files. I was the X Files and Hill Street Blues and the $6 Million Man. Those were ones I was hooked on, and I had to watch. I was loyal. I had to watch every week. It's like, no, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. Hey, we got to hurry up and finish this. I got to go see my show type thing. I had a buddy in high school, and we watched Hill Street Blues, and we would talk about it. And it was, I was all in again. I was just all in. I would pick a certain show, and I was all in. And people would ask, "Did you see this show? Did you see that show?" And it's like, no, man, I watch my show. I always had my show.
Huh.
Recently, though, I'm more into the animated shows these days. A lot of the TV sitcoms and all that, and the dramas and everything are either not funny or too creepy. I, I, I don't like watching the police shows with all the creepy weirdos and everything and stuff, and get enough of that in reality. So
Yeah.
I like watching Family Guy or Futurama or something where it's just nonsense, funny stuff. You know what I mean? You have to think or be gored out, grossed out, or anything. It's just nonsense for fun. So that's,
Yeah. I definitely the missus and I just got done watching the documentary on the Boston bombers on Netflix, and we watched The Diplomat before that. Both of those are pretty enjoyable.
we have watched some of the Tulsa King. I've been watching that. We've got
Not
about
familiar.
now we get about a half dozen episodes in now or something because I like Stallone. So my wife and my son have watched a bunch of different TV series together and stuff, and but I just wasn't all that interested. But I saw Stallone had a series, so I was like, oh, I have to watch my Sly. So it's all right. He's rough and tumble, and he doesn't give you much of an opportunity before he's just gonna pop you in the mouth, and that's how he handles a lot of his stuff. So if you like that kind of guy, it's so I've yeah about half a dozen episodes I think we've watched. So I've enjoyed it all right so far. It's getting to the point now where some stuff might happen, so it might be getting interesting here. So, but I have gotten into the Tulsa King. So
Hmm.
alien goo. Yeah, the hills have eyes. I'll tell you what. The first Hills Have Eyes, not I saw the remake too, but the first Hills Have Eyes I saw back when we had Showtime,
Mm.
and you had the Showtime box on your TV with the
Mm-hmm.
button on it. And my dad was watching The Hills Have Eyes, and I stayed up and watched it with him. And man, that movie messed me up as a young man.
Hmm.
I was freaked out. If I was ever scared of the dark, it was the period after I saw The Hills Have Eyes. That movie, that was creepy. The just being stranded out there and then just being picked off by the folks in the hills, and then when he's waving the hand back at the guy as he's eating him and saying, "I told you so," and he's chewing on his hand. I was just, that messed me up. That movie messed me up. And then when I saw the remake, it was, I was having flashbacks. I was like, oh, yeah, that was one. I watched that with my dad on Showtime. Yeah. I'm dating myself again.
Yeah, I don't remember watching that when I was a kid.
Well, my dad liked staying up late and watching Showtime because they would have your adult themed movies on later in the evening.
The Four Flavors.
So yeah. So what was her name? Oh, Emmanuel. Remember Emmanuel? She made like 20 movies or something. Emmanuel in New York, Emmanuel in Boston, and it was very, very soft, very, 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 very soft. But you know, dad time.
Yeah.
Kids go to bed, dad's gonna watch Emmanuel, right? And it must have just been one of those nights where he was in a horror movie mood, and it was. I don't know how I got sucked into it, but he and I watched The Hills Have Eyes late night on Showtime one night. Yeah, it messed me up. He probably thought it was funny too. Ooh, are you scared? My dad was like that.
Yeah.
Scared? They're gonna get you. Ooh,
I'm trying to remember. There is a Star Trek that kind of messed me up. And I don't remember exactly what the plot was, but there was some sort of maybe black hole or something like that. And I just remember there was a glowing tube of some sort. And I just, all I can remember is the emotional fear of something. And if I remember correctly, it's a famous episode in which somebody disobeys an order, takes some sort of transport, and sacrifices themselves so that the Starfleet can get away. But I just remember like a tube firing on, and I had something sparked my emotional.
Was that the planet eating episode?
Yeah, it might have been.
That big machine that ate planets?
Yeah, it could be. Was it a tube with the glowing end?
Yeah, it looked like what are they? What's that? Italian dessert, manicotti or whatever.
Oh,
looks like an ice cream
dessert
cone almost with the stuff coming out one end. Yeah, it was it was a big long tunnel thing, and it was lit up, and it would make the sci-fi noises, and it was.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page here.
Yeah. One of the things that freaked me out was black holes, because when I first heard about black holes, it was like, through the media saying, "Oh, the black holes are going to swallow the whole universe," and I'm like, "Oh crap!" I'm looking up. Are we going to,
We all got
they're popping up everywhere. They're finding them everywhere. There's black holes everywhere. They're just going to pop up, and they're just going to swallow everything. And for a little while, I was freaked out about black holes.
Yeah, cannoli, I think, is what you were trying to say.
Cannolis. Thank you. Cannolis, yeah. Big old cannoli. And of course,
leave the gun, take the cannoli.
The first Star Trek movie, too, with V'ger was very profound, where we we had V'ger come back after, it was the Voyager, is what it was, coming back after all those years. That was, it got you thinking about, yeah, what would the aliens think about if they found one of our Voyagers and it was damaged and they were only getting part of the message.
Huh.
So it kind of didn't really mess me up, but the first Star Trek was a thinker.
Mm-hmm.
We're sending that stuff out, and um, when I was talking about Frankenstein, that the whole story of the Frankenstein monster is, should science do some things? And there was a question even when we launched those, that should we be sending stuff out of the solar system because maybe somebody will find it, we don't want to find it. It's, we could be sending out an invitation to say, hey, we're some primitive people on this planet with lots of natural resources, and if you're an enemy alien species, this is exactly where we're at, because we drew a star map on the thing and launched it out there. So
Hmm.
hopefully the Vulcans will find it first and not the Klingons. But I guess it's 50-50 either way, I guess, how it could go. So there was a discussion if we should be sending a map out there on how to find us or not, but it's too late now. They're out there. I think the second one is out of our solar system, or just about now. So they are officially in on their journey,
Hmm.
if they don't get destroyed by space rocks along the way. But yeah, so ultimately, you know, I was taking Hugh Ross's lead because this all led from aliens to demons to, uh, I just had heard Ouija board and tarot cards for the last time one day, so I ordered some, and it all fell in with, if you do this stuff, Hugh Ross claiming that the aliens that are actually demons are going to show up, which is intriguing for me because come back around talking about all this Star Trek stuff and everything else, and it's like, yeah, I'm all for this, thing behind me here to show up and let's go for a ride and everything. And be like, yeah, let's go. So I wanted to put Hugh Ross to the test, and I've been trying to do it as fairly and as much to his word as possible. He wasn't specific. He didn't say you had to know what you were doing. He did say the more you do it, the more they're going to show up. So I guess the more you play with these things, if I get this out every weekend, I'm improving my odds somehow, or I don't know. It makes it more powerful for the demons to find me,
Hmm.
because demons uh, have to be invited in. Now you don't have to do it. It could be a friend or a family member or somebody else. But demons, according to the people who say these things, demons, one of the rules they have is they have to be invited in somehow. Then once they're in, then they can cause all kind of trouble, and you got a hell of a time getting rid of them. Pun intended, right?
Hmm.
But if I haven't invited them in, I don't know else how else you're supposed to. I did tarot cards, spells. I read witchcraft books. I read, or I did the Ouija board. Um, what else did we do? We did some other stuff. I listening to music. I lit incense. Um, you know, I got crystals. I guess they're scary to some people too. I don't know. They're rocks. I don't know why but they scare people. But I got crystals. What else did we do? Oh, we did. Tobin and I did spells. Robin did some spells.
So What's wrong with you, Dave, that your faith isn't strong enough to summons a demon?
That I don't know. And I'm not resisting, right? I'm not saying prayers. I don't got a crucifix. I'm not saying blood of Jesus or none of that kind of stuff. It's like, hey, Jesus ain't got my back, right? I,
Like,
I got no Jesus got my back. So you figure the demons would be trying to sneak up right behind me.
you don't have what it takes to get Jesus' attention or the demon's attention. Dave, I'm going to point the finger at you. I seem to have the same problem. So,
and I'm open to that, but then I have to point out though that well then the whole belief system all falls apart because the demons are not actually now this is not the regular demons. I'm talking about the demons that are disguised as aliens, okay?
oh, okay.
The demons that are disguised as aliens don't show up to Christians. They only show up to non-believers. And their message is, and I'm repeating what Hugh said here, okay? Hugh Ross said their message is be good to each other, take care of the environment, and don't believe in Jesus.
Mm.
Now, I think that's a pretty good message.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the ones that believe in Jesus don't tend to treat each other so well, and they don't give a crap about the environment. So I kind of like the demon message better than the Jesus message, because be good to each other and take care of the environment. It sounds pretty good to me. Now, if that's the demon's way of, I don't know, just not making believers out of people that are not already believers, the story kind of falls apart. But Hugh seems to be dead serious. And he says he can, and now he doesn't name people, but he says he can name people who dabble with this stuff and they've seen UFOs or they've had alien encounters, maybe even been abducted. Hugh says when he gives lectures, other PhD scientists that are actually demons curl up in the floor and say really nasty things to him about Jesus doing X-rated activities.
No.
These are PhD, and when he's in their presence, they just, because he's so Jesus-y, they just wig out and they start foaming at the mouth or whatever. So he this is a fact. He's stating it as a matter of fact. He knows these people. He knows who they are. He's worked with them. He's lectured with them, and it's a matter of fact. All you do is dabble with the stuff. The aliens show up because they're actually deceiving us as aliens. They're actually demons. But then because they're invisible and immaterial and like all the things like God is that don't really exist, when they crash into Earth and they leave the craters, we don't find any debris or any bodies because they're invisible and interdimensional and non-physical and all this. So to show us a thing or two, the demons are either talking to us or abducting us and telling us to be good to each other and take care of the environment, or they're crashing into the planet at like almost daily. It seems like these crafts are supposedly crashing into the planet everywhere, and they leave no trace because they're invisible. So the interdimensional invisible alien ships and bodies that are everywhere we can't see anyways. So what that influence is doing, I don't know. And I would understand if maybe the aliens were just bad pilots, and they just maybe drunk driving or something, and they keep smacking into Earth. Watch out for Earth, that's a bad curve, right?
That's right.
Dead man's curve, right? Smacking right into Earth. But no, they're actually, he's saying they're demons, which are spiritual, it's all magical, that are deceiving us. And these UFOs and everything aren't really real, but yet they're somehow not really real, but they still crash into the planet.
Hmm.
So this is Hugh Ross's deal. I This is how I got sucked into it all. Okay, it's Hugh Ross's fault. But Hugh Ross basically said straight up with these words that if you do these things, and this is testable, and this is what caught my ear because you won't get this from an apologist very often. That they're going to give you something that's actually testable. So he said this is testable. If you play with this stuff, the UFOs show up. If you believe in Jesus, the aliens don't show up. So I don't believe in Jesus, and I'm dabbling with this stuff. Hughes says the demons disguised as aliens are going to show up in one shape, form, or another.
Hmm.
So I wanted to follow through. The only thing I haven't been able to do is get a good look for them through my telescope. I did have it out a couple times this month. As soon as I set it up and started looking at the moon or something, I did look, and no spaceships flew by while I was looking. But I couldn't get any shots with the camera or anything before the clouds came in because it is that time of year. We don't have the best weather. So where I'm sitting at right now is after a month. Previous month is when I learned all this stuff, researched it. So I started this the first day of October. I did the summoning stream. This is where I had all of Hugh's clips, all his words. I pulled out all my stuff. Since then, I've done some follow ups. And then yesterday, well, the day before yesterday now, did the stream with Robin because Kentucky Atheist said, "Hey, Robin's gonna be talking about witchcraft and stuff." And I said, "Hey, does Robin know about tarot cards?" Yes, Robin does. I said, "I am there." So I had my tarot cards out. She had hers out. We went through it like we was doing it. We was learning it, talking about it. She put some spells out, and then tonight I wanted to cover the Ouija board. So my son and I both did the Ouija board. We asked it questions, and nope, no demons,
Hmm.
no aliens. I haven't seen anything in the sky. Nothing's contacted me, and I've been letting the camera go here because I openly invited a demon to move anything on this board while the camera's been on. And I pointed out earlier, this here is just about round. This this crystal here is just about round. A little shaping, it could be a marble. Okay, it could be a shooter, right? Right. So if this thing that almost rolls by itself, see that? I mean, this thing it almost rolls by itself.
Have you tried Jesus?
Uh, I'm maybe that's should well I should try that next. If this because I'm not calling it yet because I'm close. I'm not calling it yet, but when I call this, because if it doesn't work, Hugh is getting contact. I will say something about Hugh Ross. He puts all his social media and emails and everything out there, and he says, "Contact me." So I'm gonna. Now it's either
Hmm.
gonna be yes, I saw a UFO, or no, I didn't see a UFO, and I did all the stuff, Hugh. So I am planning on, but I want to be thorough. So I'm not just trying to be a goofball. This is as close to a scientific test as you're going to get from a believer because almost everything they claim is unfalsifiable. This is something that's actually falsifiable. So I'm trying to take it with as much sincerity as I can. If you think I'm just being an idiot or anything like that, it's like, hey, give me another scientifically testable thing from a believer, and I'll be happy to check that out too. This, as far as I know, this is the only one you got. So I am taking it for what it is. I'm doing all the stuff. Um, I listen to the music. Um, I've listened to music from other religions because that's a big demon thing too. Everything I could possibly do. And earlier in the stream, and I'll say it again, demons, I'm bringing you out.
Hmm.
I got no Jesus here. There's nothing protecting me. I've opened the portal. I've got the that's the thing too. I've got the demon portal under my desk too. I got the spell that's written under my desk here. So I've got the portal right here for you. I've got a Ouija board. And all I ask, it just make like a rock move, or something like this, fall over. I mean, it doesn't take much. This is nothing. Doesn't That's all it would take. I got nothing. Now, to the believers out there, you're gonna wonder why we don't believe this stuff because nothing happens. Now, I hear a lot of things happen when there's no cameras around. And there's a lot of things that happen with video and photographs that have been messed with in between. Okay. And yes, you got Photoshop today and everything, and just because somebody's got a picture, don't mean it's not Photoshopped. It ain't phony, just like in. But this is live. Okay, we're live, and I can say, I mean, you can say I'm faking it, but I mean, here's my arm, here's my rings. There they are. Okay, this is as best as I can do for being live. You can't Photoshop this. Okay, can't Photoshop this. All right. So this is your opportunity. This is where something should show up. When I'm inviting it, I'm saying, show up, demons. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not resisting. Not one bit. I got your portal. I got all your stuff. Nothing. So all I can say is I've done everything except I need a little bit more telescope time. I have looked, and there was a couple nights I just kind of ducked out. I didn't have time to get the telescope out, but I did go out and look. Um, my son was out with me too because I wanted to witness. So my boy was backing me up. We were both out there looking. Was, if the neighbors were looking at us, they were probably wondering what we were looking at. Because we were both looking up, and we were looking until our necks got a little stiff, and we said, okay, that's enough looking. And he's got great eyes. He doesn't wear glasses. I wear glasses. I'll admit I wear glasses. My son doesn't wear glasses. Nothing wrong with his eyeballs. So I have him backing me up. I do have glasses, though, I can put on. I do have binoculars. I have a little pair, and I have a great big pair my wife has for looking at birds. Okay. I got all that. Haven't seen nothing. And no noises, no shadows, no dreams, no visions, no Jesus or demons showing up in my dreams. Um, I'm running out of things on the list, folks. Seriously. So, but Mrs. Desk is home, and
Well, it's
I've
probably
got,
bedtime anyway, so.
I've got to get this stuff put away so that I can, get ready for bedtime. And I think I gave it a fair shot. We went over the midnight hour too. So
Yeah, it's midnight here also.
we've got the midnight hour thing. Um, I'm unless doing without doing something, let's say illegal, that would be really way over the line. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, within within being legal and not being cruel to animals or any of that nonsense, I think I've covered most of the rest of it.
Yeah, probably. I think so. Um, you you ever go to Bryan or Edgerton, Defiance, where you're at?
Not recently, but
No.
I used to be there a lot. My sister-in-law was from Defiance, so
Mm-hmm.
that's where they had their wedding too.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's where I saw Star Wars.
Mm. Yeah, it's what, half hour down the road or something.
Yeah, yeah. It's probably
Yeah, see,
45 minutes or
you
so.
used to be around here, and James Apperson used to be around here, and it's weird, at one point in time we all could have crossed paths around here. So
Yeah, that's funny.
yeah,
Huh.
and Bree's not too far away.
Bree's a long ways away from me, even though we're both in Illinois.
Yeah, you're on opposite ends, aren't you?
We're on opposite ends.
Yeah, that's how Trees and I are. We're, oh, you're both in Ohio, and it's like, yeah, but Ohio's pretty big
Yeah,
when you go end to end.
it's if there's any kind of traffic at all, it's a 5 hour trip. If
Yeah,
there's zero traffic, it's 4.
yeah, you got
But getting out of
two,
Chicago without traffic,
2.5 to 3 hours depending to get to Columbus, which is in the middle of the state. So yeah, you're about 5 6 hours from if you want to go across the state. So.
mm-hmm.
But one of these days we just might hook up over there. I know somebody else that's over in Trees area over there too, and
Mm-hmm.
they're very squatchy too. So who knows? We might have to have a squatch hookup one of these days. So, or a grass man hookup. I'm sorry, but yeah, I do have a good time talking with Trees about all this stuff, and Bree and I talk about it. We message each other too, and we have a good time talking about Bigfoots and aliens and YouTube channels that are very interesting, have very interesting content. So that's a lot of fun. But yeah, otherwise, like I say, I am gonna make sure I get some more telescope time. And if something doesn't show up in my and like I said, I have a camera for the telescope, so you're not gonna have to take my word for it. I'm gonna make a video. I got an eyepiece camera. I'm gonna take a video because again, photos, video I think is a lot harder to be faking, especially if I also have a dual stream of the telescope and me, like I have right now with the dual cams. That's the best I can do without, you know, it being suspicious. So I do want to have some video. So what you're going to see is what I saw looking through the telescope. And there's either going to be a UFO in the eyepiece or there's not.
Hmm. Well,
But
I wish you could grab me some evidence. I'd greatly appreciate that.
my wife had a chuckle. She said, "What happens if the space station flies right by in front of the moon while you got the telescope out?" And I say, "Well, it'll be interesting to see, but it'll also be explainable." So,
Yeah.
because one thing you can pinpoint exactly where it's at any time because they put all the graphs out and the maps out and everything else. So, you know exactly when it's overhead. That would be pretty easy to identify. But it would be great to capture on the telescope cam. That would be really great. So that's uh that's some extra all hail Bigfoots, and I'll have to put out a nice offering that evening to get that all lined up. But it is definitely possible. I have seen photographs of people capturing it going by with the moon in the background. So if you're dedicated enough, you can get that shot. But I wanted to again say happy Halloween to everybody. I've had it rolling on the ticker here because I wanted to make sure I said happy Halloween to everybody. Um, it was pretty quiet around here. We don't really don't have kids for trick or treaters or anything. The last couple of years, we had a bowl of candy and nobody showed up. So
Hmm.
I didn't even put on the porch light this year. So
You have a pretty prominent kid friendly neighborhood.
it goes in
Yeah.
phases. When my older boy was young, there was lots, and then it went through that cycle. And then when my other son, they're about 12 years apart. So the other one was already done trick or treating when this one started, and then all the kids were grown. You know what I mean? And a lot of their brothers sisters were closer in age, where they've got a big age gap. And then it was that cycle around here. And a friend of mine was saying the same thing. His kids were in the same boat, that there just wasn't any kids in the neighborhood in that cycle. And then I always point out, though, when I was a kid, I was in that great cycle because it was like kids everywhere, kids up and down the street. The kids all over to play with. So it does go in those cycles, in your neighborhoods, and some kids get the short end of the stick when it's just in between the generations or whatever. So, of course, it's more candy for me. So he bought uh, he bought a couple bags of the assorted candy and brought it home the one evening, and I said, "Oh boy, that's my boy. Brought me some candy." So I got candy to eat. So sorry, kids, but just yeah, we just don't have trick or treaters around here. So,
Hmm.
but then what it'll be? It'll be about the time where I'm getting up there in years here. It's going to come back around. So there'll be another. Sadly, I'm becoming the elder of the neighborhood here. A lot of the ones when I first moved in have either moved out or have passed away. So I'm coming around to be the old guy in the neighborhood now. So it's going to come. I'm guessing there is, as a matter of fact, there are a few houses that have little ones. So it might be come around again unless they move. So we'll see. But yeah, nice talking with you, Tux. Thanks for stopping by. Like I said, just wanted to hang out a little bit. I didn't have much going on, and I already had everything all set up. So I figured might as well go with it for the evening. Make sure the camera ran the whole time. If anybody's watching this in the replay, if you saw anything move that I didn't see, let me know in the comments with a timestamp. I haven't seen anything move. I invited stuff to move, and I pointed out again, this rock doesn't take anything to get it to move. A good breeze could move this rock. See there, it rolled right over. See that? It doesn't take much. Now, if this didn't move, I'm just sorry that if the demon's powers are that weak, it's just like anything else supernatural. Whether it exists or not doesn't really seem to make any difference. And everybody that stopped by, Sydney and Ember and Bree and who else all? We got Tsunami was here and Jur was here. I know James was through, and of course Tux is here and B.S. Lewis. So, and this also, like I said, it may not just be me because, and of course, Robin. And again, yeah, check out, you want to know about tarot cards? I did a stream with Robin. It's on Kentucky Atheist channel. It's also on my channel. Make sure you give Kentucky Atheist the like first, though. And Robin gave me all kind of information about tarot cards. You want to know stuff? I got the video. I got it covered. We know a lot of basics about tarot cards. And Tsunami. Tsunami is great. Got me cracking up. And oh yeah, Mark Reed was in there too.
Mm,
Had a
saw
few
Mark Reed earlier.
Blaster Master. I see a bow tie in there. Oh, and Purple. Purple was through. John was here. Spooky. Oh, that's got to have Spooky roll through on Halloween. Appreciate it, Spooky. Gaming with Silver Wolf. What was uh, Tulsi, James, Sandy, the Trusty Ape, Logan Fisher. A lot of people stopped by. Cool. Hope y'all had a happy Halloween. And if y'all spot something or if y'all hear a bump in the night, it could be because of me. And you watched my video and maybe it goes through the YouTube somehow. I don't know. Don't ask me for serious explanations. I try to do this stuff generally, okay? But yeah, and if you do ever see anything and you can get a video of it, you don't know what it is. It's a UFO, and we don't have to claim it's an alien ship. If you just don't know what something is and you have a video of it, let me know. I'd like to see it. Maybe we could have it on the channel and talk about it. Um, I've never seen one that I couldn't explain. So yeah, if somebody out there's got video or something like that, that would be cool. Yeah, I want to check it out. All right. And otherwise, I think I said to everybody. One last check. Sydney. I'm pretty sure I said Sydney. All right. I'm going to go spend some time with Mrs. Desk.
All right. Cheers. Bow
Yep.
tie blessed
Cheers
to
to
all.
you have a good evening, and cheers to your missus as well.